qualifiers, you're playing for a pretty healthy paycheck as well.
50K tournament, that's what people have to remember here. So no memes about seeding or anything else, and can't forget their way into close qualifying number 2 to eventually make their way into Masters, as it's going to be XSET making their way onto A. Mummay trying to slow things down. He got taken away as it's now going to be a 5v4. Envy have to try and rotate as fast as they can, as XSET, looking at the situation, have actually exited. So despite Finesse making his way over towards A, XSET are gone.
A lot of damage was exchanged initially by the Page Shells, but it will largely be sustained. Thwifo still going to hold to make sure he can toss out some utility, maybe delay any defensive rotations, or just try to guard this teleporter rotation, as crashies, as you mentioned, finds a lot of value with the Aldrin. He'll also gain himself an ultimate orb, but XSET will rotate back to Thwifo, who's in a long-range 1v1, just holds the trigger, finds the kill. Dark cover will try to keep him safe, and how about one better? BCJ walks on forward, finds the kill. Finesse good for one trade, but it's going to be required to do more than that. A lot of damage on the entry, but will be pushed back outside of lamps. Aaron here. Dark cover going to be the only barrier between both players. The spike gets planted on the corner. Finesse will lock down another elimination. That's his second so far. Crashies try to retake lamps. Aaron there to try to challenge, has a little bit of help. This comes down to who peaks first and with what timing.
One enemy
BCJ only on 33 HP. Aaron has found Finesse, and Crashies will be taken down to essentially 1 bullet. 22 health for him to play with. The next set will force him to continue to make a play, which he tries to, but Pure from the backside of A mid will find the final kill.
Yeah, too many players alive there. Mummay going down early as well for the 5v4. And good info being found. You see Crashies with the owl drone down B. Long spots 2 players. Forces XSET to once again have to rotate back on towards A. So Finesse spends most of that map just running between both sites without seeing a lot of action until the end. And great timing as well. That weeded smoke coming into cover Thwifo just as he finds the kill into food to keep him alive. Yeah, Thwifo still goes down over towards lamps, but the fact that he gets the kill into food isn't tradable until a little bit while later.
Right.
It's so well done for XSET as they now head into the anti-eco. So a great pistol to open things up with it, see if they can maybe find a lot of value again. It's going to be Stingers, SMGs, Spectres, you know the drill. BCJ actually has a Vandal, sorry, a Phantom, so that's going to be quite useful for the next round as well.
Although read the Sheriff, so far the SMG purchases have been concealed. Recon Bolt flushing one side, Page Shells the other. They're really trying to isolate Mummay here. Kaboose is not giving away his position. Now as he's forced to, he will find 1 kill. But the hit for XSET has largely gotten onto the site. They want to try to isolate this final pick onto Kaboose, and Weeded has also pushed forward far enough to find Crashies, leaving XSET in a 3v2. Maybe trying to contest this early, though, is Food on the Sage. Trying to come on in. We'll find elimination, and cleanly at that. So an opportunity starting to brew, but the secondary challenge runs right into 2 players. And now it's just down to Finesse for 1v2, and he's on the wrong side of the map. Well, or maybe not.
He's on the right side of the map now. 1 versus 2. Stinger in hand, full ammo as well. See somebody through the camera so they know. He rather knows exactly where this push is going to come from. Spike on the ground there. That's the Phantom on the floor as well. This 1v1 could mean everything. Cypher versus Cypher. 14 bullets in the chamber here. And on the other end is going to be Thwifo. I don't know how much. 20 seconds, by the way.
Yeah, he's lived up to his name, though. He finesses through the cyber cage and then streaks across, changing his angle once more. The timing of the peak is good. Finesse clutches things up for the 1v2, keeping Envy off their force by tied up 1 apiece.
That is incredible. Finesse nearly had to rotate all over towards A, and it ends up being XSET kind of, I don't know, gut checking over towards B. They're saying we're going to TP over. Finesse is already on his way to A. We can go for a 2 for 0 here, get a free plant. Little do they know, lying in wait, Finesse was just hiding away in cubby in the perfect position where he was at the start of the map. And BCJ, the one play with the real gun there, going down super fast, dropping the spike on the ground. That could not have gone more poorly for XSET in the 2v1. So Finesse buying time, buying the situation, now getting a free gun. Envy win that 4 spike. Should be a free orb here as well, coming for Food as he walks away.
Wow. And maybe those are the risky plays, risky calls that Envy need to be making, you know, when they find themselves in disadvantageous positions, because, again, their defense, largely their best part. Pure, able to walk right on in through the dark cover into Kaboose's line of sight, gets the kill, BCJ another. We're gonna get crashies though. How much can he find off this Hunter's Fury? He finds 1 confirmed kill, plus a bit of damage, I believe. So it gives Envy a chance here for this 2v4, but XSET also have a Hunter's Fury of their own. Finesse will read information, there's a player in shower, but that's mutual. And as the spike will be planted, now it just comes down to, again, what can Finesse do from this angle? Almost an opportunity for a first, has to back down knowing there's a threat through showers. He's gonna get help as Crashies has made his way forward. The recon bolt is actually right stuck onto Aaron. Shock dart, well placed, but can't confirm the kill, and BCJ walks back. Now it's just down to Finesse. Running and gunning is gonna be Twifo. Gets some damage, but can't confirm the kill. Hunter's Fury gonna come through, and that will be a nail in the coffin. XSET right back up by 2-1.
7 HP, Phantom back in hand. I'll take that weapon back. Thank you very much. The counter force successful for XSET here. Bunch of stingers and a spectre coming into play, and ends up being super effective. XSET get themselves straight onto site. Late plant, mind you. They have the post plant there, 4 versus 2 with a Hunter's Fury. Gets the last kill required. And now, ball is back in Envy's court, and yeah, they're going to force back. They're just saying, you know what, yeah, we'll just keep going. We're going to keep going. No team wants to back out of this. Everyone's just buying down to 0 every single round. Finesse, who's had a lot of kills, gets himself a Vandal even. So no team is willing to save.
Wow. Maybe we'll just get these half SMG light AR rounds all the way through this first half. Finesse finds first blood in Aaron. Owl drones will pass by one another. Pure, he gets the timing on Finesse trying to get away. Food no response, crashes up top. Beautiful shots from him, able to find another elimination. Now in favor of Envy to a 4v2. Mummay making it now a 4v1, just down to BCJ, who has snuck through into elbow, but he will not be able to conceal his position for too long. You see the slow orbs are already in place. Slow peek coming out is actually good enough for Crashies, believe it or not. And Envy snap right back, 2-2 we go.
Yep, and let's see now if XSET force again. I'll have to have a look at their money because there's no loss bonuses. Because it's gone 1-1-1-1, every single team only gets the 1900 afterwards in terms of what your loss bonus is. And there's no plants either. And then finally, someone has to buckle, and that's going to be XSET biting the bullet here and saying, all right, we can't go for another force buy. I mean, they could go for it, but it would be too risky. Now they've given away more guns over to Envy. The fact that Envy go flawless, by the way, means they now have 3 rifles to back up their 2 SMGs. Playstorm has been popped by Puro, so that is going to be the one thing XSET have going for them this round.
And Pure, he's popped off with the Bloodstorm previously. You kind of expect him to at least find maybe 1, if not more kills with this, giving XSET a realistic chance here, again, with the hurt economy to potentially do something special. But not loving what they see over towards B, they will start to fall back and reconsider, and it's Food who will be responsible to watch the exchange on the cross, but the timing of this peak is going to be everything. Pure, does he check this? He is moving quickly. You see Food is looking left, right, center, inside out, upside down, and he will be able to take down the blade holding Pure. Twifo looking for the response, will find the kill. That'll be an SMG picked up, but they lose a lot of their kill potential off the Bladestorm.
Oh, they do, though, have this theft or at least confirmed positioning, but you're right, not having the Bladestorm is going to suck. They have a Stinger instead, which is only a minor upgrade of the 3 rifles available to be picked up on the Envy side of things. Food wasn't carrying one of them. Trapwire triggered over towards Hookah as well. At this stage, you got to know Envy need to make some rotations happen. They got to go through the teleport in just a moment. Finesse is still kind of AFK for now. Crashies, though, he's into play. He's got the spike on the floor and 2 kills. Yes, a gun will be dropped. Yes, probably the spike will be planted now. Unless Mummay can stop things. Mummay is in position. He can't quite see. No, he does!
Just on the interior was Weeded. Not able to stay alive to the wallbang. Tracking dart has scouted out Aaron's position, and Finesse will make sure he confirms, and with that, he also makes sure he picks back up the Vandal. So, tug of war, back and forth. Pick your poison here. It's a 3-2, and now Ultimate's starting to become a consideration, not just for the Bladestorm, but obviously now as we have Hunter's Furies that are being earned for not just the first time, but also the second time. It really just comes down to who you feel will be able to find a way to take an advantage here, because we're going into a full gun round here, Avril.
Yeah, and I don't think, as far as I'm aware, XSET haven't actually planted. I mean, there's been no defusers there. I mean, they might have planted on one of their attacking rounds, but it's like, if you're looking at the situation, that last run as well, despite losing, no plant through, so no extra 1,500 for the team spread across everybody. I mean, XSET in terms of money, because they've been forcing for quite a few of these rounds as well. Economy is just back and forth, back and forth. Most of their players now down to 0. You have Aaron not on full armor. He's also 1 away from the showstopper for what it's worth. She's now coming through on the Hunter's Fury. Looking like a kill. He's at least got 1 tag, but won't be able to finalize that one. So no confirmation.
Yeah, super long range on the attempt. Just a bit out of range, it looks like. So XSET will take this time to kind of collect themselves. 3 players threatening hookah, but there is a little bit of deterrence there in the way. Wait for that to expire and then try to clear. And Envy in a 3-2 split have also seen no information through C long. So as the Aldrun will scout out Crashies' position, he'll back away, make sure the shock dart will deny any space.
Finesse is here to help as well. Through the teleporter is going to be Mummay if things get a little bit more dire. At this point in time, you know, we spend the first minute just kind of scouting things through. Bit of a smoke being thrown over towards A to fake things out as well. You've heard nothing over towards A. There's been no sound being made. Envy at this stage in the game. Need to look for a little bit more info. The camera is going to be the first point of contact. We'll see the first person. And that is going to be, I believe, Pure. And after that, it should be the rotate. Envy are on their way.
Or are they? They're going to try to take the teleport, it looks like, for this hit. So it's only 10 seconds to play. XSET need to commit to getting the spike planted. And Crashies has done well to stay alive and throw out some deterrents. But it's Aaron for 3. Now the showstopper will come through immediately, and he will trade his life out, finding 4 kills in the round. Finesse for a 1v3 requirement, and he says not interested. He'll back away, save the rifle, and he's got plenty of credits to purchase for a teammate in case that is required going into our round number 6.
I mean, look at all the blue X's over towards hookah. I mean, that's all Aaron right there. Connects the showstopper also. So everybody from Envy with the late rotate into the teleport, it was so late because as soon as the camera spots a player, it's like less than 30 seconds remaining. You see Piora coming on through into B long. Envy got to know at that stage it is 100% going to be B unless it's a very elaborate fake. And everyone kind of still waiting to see possibly could it be A. They wait to go through the teleporter. They get shut down. And XSET will finally even up the scoreboard 3-3 and make sure their guns are in hand. 3 players still alive. They can drop for their teammates if required here. It's going to be really important for XSET to bounce back in terms of economy because they need to string together a couple more rounds. Their loss bonuses have been repeatedly reset. Envy will now have operator on board for Mummay as well. So looking towards where he's going to snipe down early. Let's see if anyone from XSET walks into the line of sight.
Finesse still playing well, by the way. Again, just kind of crediting on what we mentioned largely as a thread between the first 2 maps that we watched between Luminosity and Envy. Sentinel players continue to be impressive, and Finesse has, again, just reestablished that is indeed a fact now, not really much of an opinion. But Mummay with the sniper rifle, he should have 1 peek available, but misses the shot just a bit off. So XSET will recognize the threat and then likely adapt accordingly to try to avoid it.
Yeah, so nowhere near showers now. Everyone's going over towards B. You have a nice setup in Envy's hookah position as well with the crossfire. It's over towards long, that's a bit of an issue. You see that the ice wall is used over towards A short, so they don't quite have the same utility to be used on B now. From the shadows being confirmed all the way onto the site itself, and now they know Finesse is in hookah.
He's put himself in a very awkward position, and XSET will just run through the cyber cage and just spam him down. Food, has he stayed concealed? Nope, not apparently. BCJ finds the second elimination. Crashies, we've really kind of credited him for having great utility. It would have to be incredible here once again, and he actually does confirm a lot of damage. Mummay, who tries to force the showstopper into the equation, only sees that output really 1 number, so now it's just down to 1. Crashies for 1v3. And another consideration here as far as, do we really go for it? Well, that first kill might make the decision a bit easier, because he knows where the second is. Snap for the 3rd! Crashies for 4 in the round! And Envy will put themselves in a really great position here. Just gonna do a little bit of shopping to get the operator before the defuse comes out.
Oh my goodness, it feels like another round that gets robbed away. Envy have managed to do it again. This is so similar, in some senses, very similar to what Finesse just did in the 1v2. Obviously, it's different because Finesse kinda got, XSET just walking into them, but Crashies for the 1v3, and XSET kind of individually peek him 1 by 1 as well. He lands a tracking dart over onto Pure. Sees the first kill onto Aaron, connects the shots, and 1 by 1 finds every single headshot. I would imagine that if you're the last player alive, I mean, but look at this situation. Gets the kill onto Pure, and BCJ tries to swing for the kill. If he lands a single shot onto Crashies on 30 HP, that would have been it. The other option would have been for BCJ just to hide, because I don't know that Crashies has full information on where BCJ is. He could have played for the time instead, but XSET really looking for that final kill onto 30 HP. Crashies just barely misses the shot. That's going to be a painful round to lose as we walk into Mummy's line of sight there, and Thwyfo down with the spike confirmed.
Yeah, Finesse is there also to assist. neural theft will be spent to just get a lay of the land, and it'll be information that XSET is stacked over towards the B long well. It's just the rounds like that are rounds that we were talking about largely in that first matchup versus LG. That one big clutch moment gives Envy a ton of room to work with. So will that be a deciding factor in this matchup? We'll have to keep a pin in that fact to see if that does come up as a maybe recollection point later.
So for what it's worth as well, XSET just once more struggling to string together rounds. They finally do win a round, and instantly they drop one back, which means, again, in terms of economy, getting their loss bonuses reset. BCJ's position being revealed should be simple for Crashies. It is. That's just going to be the final kill. The previous round now being picked up by Crashies once again, who, I got to remind you all, I was staying straight at the top of the day when we were watching
left.
Envy and their opening matchup versus Luminosity. Crashies was going to be a guy to watch out for, and right now he's really starting to pop off. 2 plays alive for XSET. They got to start thinking about saving. 20 seconds remaining. Spike is nowhere near either of the sites. They've backed out over towards spawn. Just got to keep the guns alive.
Doesn't seem to be
10
much of an
seconds
approach
left.
here for Envy to make point of contact. They'll send one out to go hunt, maybe, as Caboose is making his way through shower. But, wow, a back-and-forth affair in this matchup, and we had 4 spies largely dictating what happened in the first 4 rounds. Then we've gone gun round for gun round pretty much ever since then in some form or another, mostly due to the fact that players have been able to save a few hero rifles at worst, which will be the case here once again for XSET. But a couple of rounds in a row for Envy, 4 out of the last 5, put them in a position to grow their lead to a 2-round differential.
Everyone knows this by now as well, but obviously if you do save these rifles over, you can't drop for teammates. You're going to have the hero rifles for your own self. The other 3 here, it's going to be Stingers with armor, BCJ with the Hunter's Fury as well. No one else really too close to the ultimate, so it's going to be, you know, basically 2 rifles and 1 ultimate to play with for this round. Mummy sniping over towards showers. Thwifo potentially in the line of sight as well. If Thwifo crosses in, this should be a pretty simple pickup.
Well, we've seen this same angle with the same components before. Mummy was a bit wide the last time that this same angle happened. Not again.
Not this time.
Yep. And the hit is immediately was trying to be hit simultaneously, so Pure actually finds himself in lamps. Caboose using a cyber cage to stay concealed. He'll find an elimination, and Envy will be in a 5v3 early. The spike carrier also dropping, as Mummy is allowed to exit away from showers. The slower will make sure of that, and XSET will have to force a rotation over to B. And this is one of those rounds that you still go for the 2v5, you feel like. Especially if you can find an entrant kill here on the crashies. You'll hear the information. Finds the first kill. Saw the weapon of the second. Nice paranoia coming from his lap. That'll make the gunfight much easier, and Crashies will double down as Envy put themselves at a 6-3 tally.
Yeah, it's simply too easy there for Envy to just defend over towards B as well. The 1v2, Crashies lying in wait. No information from XSET as to where Crashies could be. Could be an elbow. Could be hiding in spawn. Could be inside the tube. Could actually be in long as well. You've got no idea. No recon as well either required. Crashies to pick up the double and dismantle there as XSET's attempt to push over on towards A. The good news for XSET is finally, or at least have some more loss bonus to work with, but this isn't going to be the round where they can actually use that money just yet. They're down to, you know, what is it, 4 pistols, 1 SMG, still holding onto that Hunter's Spirit, which they can use if things go better for them.
So now it's going to be the conversation point, forced to be going over to XSET. How do you get back out of this, again, eco round that you're in the middle of at the moment? We've got Crashies holding tight by the octagon. He's going to have maybe a little bit of help here, as Finesse is actually going to get information first. The peek will be there. Thwifo's good for 1. That could be a weapon. The slow orb will deny some space. Crashies tries to contest, but he falls. So now all of a sudden, XSET are double hitting through hookah and long at the same time, and they have found 4 clean,
Spike
convincing
planted.
kills. And now it's just down to Mummy, who really can't even make this a go. He's got to hold the operator.
And not only are they actually pushing through hookah, but they get the support through the hookah as well. Look at Weeder. He throws a flash in.
Yeah.
And the paranoia connects, so they get the extra kills. And even the flank coming through, who I believe was Caboose, who's given his gun over to Thwifo now. I mean, it's just a ton of weaponry handed into the hands of XSET. Thwifo, the opening shot onto Finesse as well, checking his corners, understanding that, hey, if there's someone here and they're alone, that's going to be a free gun. And if they weren't able to get the other kills, they could have just caged the entrance onto B long, got the gun for free anyway. At this stage in the game, Mummy with just an operator, there's 0 chance he goes for anything. And XSET have found themselves a very clean round. Not going to be a flawless, not going to be all 5 kills, but they get the thrifty win, they get all the free weapons. Most importantly, they bounce back one extra round to make sure the gap between them and Envy are only just the 2.
Wow. I mean, just when you think that Envy's about to start running away with the half, something like that happens. It happened with LG. It's happening here again with XSET. Even still, after what just happened, they are able to afford at least one more time, if not 2. I mean, Mummay is sitting on a bank account right now, 6,900, even after getting the operator. So Envy will be okay, but that's a huge momentum swinger as far as XSET's ability to try to get to 6-6.
It's early info coming on through. A couple players might have been spotted by the recon there. Mummay still sniping, obviously. It's Mummay versus Wi-Fi once more over towards the shower side of things. Showstopper collects crashies, so that's going to be Hookah opened up. Food's down as well. B looks pretty open to me. Big TP from Kaboose still has a paranoia in hand. Might want to swing on that one. In fact, he gets an easy kill into Aaron. I don't even know how that one happened.
And he gets away. The Shrouded Sepi also sees the teleport location of his counterpart, but XSET, everything said and done, spend 2 ultimates to find themselves a 1 life advantage. 4v3. Mummay is by themselves at A, has to back away. He's only got an operator, so this is going to have to be something incredible from Mummay. Pending he even gets challenged. The dark covers will essentially keep him pinned inside of lamps. Help on the way. One from the backside of spawn, the other through showers. Waifu hears the jump, but isn't able to find the shots. Finesse good to keep it a 3v3. The retake still not here yet, and XSET has actually backed away through the middle of the map. So as far as how they're going to be able to confirm this, Finesse really needed to find information with the spy cam. He's going to find absolutely nothing. The reapproach coming through showers. Finesse now has located 1 player, but Pure holding close with We Did. They go 1 for 1. Down to a 2v2.
1 enemy remaining.
Pure, good for the first kill, takes the second challenge. Mummay has got the defuse to halfway. 1v1. Recon bolt comes through. BCJ's not close enough to challenge through the boxes. And Envy sneak away and defuse to go up 7-4.
Last round.
Yeah, XSET have no idea it went to half. If they knew it went to half, there's no way BCJ actually doesn't swing there. He's assuming he's got time to work with, but he absolutely does not. Envy sneak that one away. It was looking very XSET favored for a while. A very difficult swing, doesn't get the kill onto Mummay, and Envy now up to 7. This could be a 8-4 finish. That would be disastrous for XSET, where XSET had more than enough chances to string together more rounds. And I think that's been the biggest issue. After winning a round, XSET just cannot get the second one in a row. It's always just 1 round, then a loss, or 1 round and a couple of losses in a row. It does hurt their economy more and more. They won't have enough to buy up the last round anyway. 3 ultimates still to play through for both sides this time, as XSET looking over towards the A side of things, and both players on Envy defending very far away. Mummay sniping from heaven.
And they will get that information from the Aldra, and Mummay deletes it with the operator. Pure, is he still considering? Thinking about it, but not gonna come to fruition. Maybe now. Paranoia's gonna come through. Kaboose trying to stall at any hits that are going to be there. Hunter's Fury also being exchanged early, right on top of the slow, or BCJ does get tagged by that, but sends out some utility of his own. Spam shots from Kaboose are good, not only for 1, but a second, but Pure, Blade Storm responds. 3v3 situation, Showstopper still available, and that's going to be triggered out. Jumping over the top, the updraft was timed beautifully. Pure does get tagged, but he's still alive. Looking for a kill, but it will be exchanged. 2v2 situation, Weedon gets caught trying to go from the shadows, and as you called out, Finesse hits the flank, and he will find both the final kills. That'll lead us to an 8-4 half, and we'll say, my goodness, Avril. We have seen some absolutely incredible moments, not just in our first matchup, but also here early in our first half of map number 1. Envy switching to the offense, Pure coming right out the gate with some aggression. The rest of his teammates there to follow, and XSET will end the exchange in a favorable 2-for-1.
No time wasted here for either team. Straight away over towards A short, and it will continue as well. Leading in a pretty good position. Was being found out by Mummay. Now down to a 3 versus 2. Pretty tagged up with 2 extra plays as well. And BCJ for 3 kills now. Really going to be speeding up the charge for the Hunter's Fury a little bit later on. Finesse has an opportunity. Has to still find 2 more kills. Could be looking good over towards BCJ, surviving on like 1 HP.
Oh, but I was going to say, it just comes down to he's got no idea where Thwifo is, and the timing of his peak is absolutely perfect, so XSET will win the pistol. And this is a team that defensively, I would say, has largely been categorized by their aggressive plays like that. where they're just going to come right out of the barriers and just hit you in the face. And Pure, when he's on like he is, even though he's just 6 and 10, I mean, he still have showcased a number of great moments. He will make sure that XSET is able to find first blood, and that was enough to get them the round.
So pistol going their way. Remember, in our opening half, there was a lot of forces coming on through. This time, it's not going to be a force at all. So Envy respecting what XSET are being able to put together on the defense, and XSET will finally have the opportunity to get to have a couple rounds in a row. The catch-up could be real, but they would have to get this anti-eco into another gun round pretty soon. Looking a little bit further forward in time. Crashies eating a bunch of damage from the paint shells.
It's actually more significant than I think we could state right here in FIFO. Okay. Just predicts perfectly, I guess. That's fine. XSET now in a 5v4 early. To remember that the healing orb has been spent, and that's really what I was largely coming at. It's a huge piece of utility off the table. Now the second hit comes out. Aaron will find both. Some assistance here from Pure. One more wide swing, run and gun, easy clap, no problem. 2 rounds in a row for XSET. Now just down to 6-8.
Finesse will tax away 1 death as well in terms of killing Aaron. So not quite a flawless. It's going to be 1 rebuy here for XSET. The guns are going to come through for Envy, and now the test begins. What kind of damage can they do in this particular round? Not really favoring XSET to win this round, but they would need to do some decent damage in terms of economy versus what Envy have in terms of their buys. And looking at round number 4 in this half, that's when XSET will be tested to be able to string together more rounds to really catch up. 2 rounds of difference now between the 2 teams. Should be a 9-6 finish by the time we get to the end of this one. That is assuming Envy can clean up with their guns.
Big round here, though, for Envy. Not just because they take the weapon advantage, but they also have not had a chance to get the spike really planted in any of these rounds so far. So it's going to be down to, can they find success on this entry? We talked largely during their set versus Luminosity that their offense was where they largely found all of their success. At least through the open quals. Paint shells will bounce and clear out a lot of space through elbow. Crashies also gets a read off the owl drone, knowing that not only is the jet going to be playing from the back, but the site itself is wide open. So this will get Finesse a chance to plant the spike.
Spike planted.
Bulldog Hooker as well. So they can't play their own post plant there, but they're also preventing XSET from using that for their own retake. With Aaron down, it's an early 5v4, so they've got plenty of people actually on the site itself, even playing aggressively. Look, waiting for XSET to maybe pop through on this link, and they're going to be in a world of hurt in just a second here. Players all around, frenzy in hand for, you know, players like, who is it? Wife over here. That's going to be quite painful.
Exchange favorable for Envy on this post plant. Last members for XSET trying to stay alive. Here's done well to find one, but again, he's literally in the middle of that inside bomb container, and I just don't know how you choose which direction you look. You just hope that you get blessed by the Valorant gods when timing comes to play, and that's not going to unfold. So, Envy, as required, they get the spike down. They are able to hold a lot of their weapons, not forcing a ton of repurchases. So they're going to be okay coming into this next round, obviously, but on the other side, Pure will bring the operator to play.
Just the 2 rebuys coming through via Crashies and Caboose, who's actually not going to have full armor either, which could be a little bit painful, especially considering you got guys like Aaron still looking towards the Spectre. So that particular matchup could be pretty nasty. Operating for Pure, like you mentioned. Can't quite get the shot into Food, who will return the favor with a nice headshot through the wall. Aaron will at least recover the operator for now, and has to play the operator for the rest of the round as well.
Massive pick, and as Aaron comes out of hookah, Mummy punishes, but BCJ's there to meet him with a shock dart. So we'll be in a 3v4, but Envy has obviously taken the B site, and the defensive retake will try to be on the backside of a Hunter's Fury. It will connect onto 1. A kill would be incredible, but no, it does actually deal a little bit more damage on the backside. But not able to make use of any eliminations as of yet. Again, the healing orb coming into play is so clutch. Shock dart trying to bounce in. Not going to find a terrible amount of damage, but the BCJ spam shots will confirm. Crashy still holding a corner, and XSET looking to retake this by likely going to have to hit through elbow here.
And there's going to be a wall there blocking them as well, so that information will be pretty clear soon. As soon as they go to elbow, and they can't even rush them. I mean, look at the disconnect on Paranoia. They throw the Paranoia in, but they can't use it straight away. And I mean, yeah, Food's going to go down. Crashes will be there to get the response in a 1v2. So we've seen Crashes with these before. The lineup is there, and the clutch is confirmed. And once again, Crashes with the 3 kills at the end will finish the round in favor for Envy's, and he does it again. Oh my goodness.
so clutch this game, man. 21, 10, and 4. And we still have some rounds to play. The fact that he's already gotten up above 20 kills is darn impressive, without question. So now all of a sudden, for XSET, you find yourself on an eco round. Envy with Caboose still on a bulldog right now. Not feeling comfortable in their own right, but again, they should be on 11, and 11-6 is great news for Envy fans, without a doubt.
And Caboose will be fine for now. Staying on that gun versus, you know, bunch of pistols and one stinger on Aaron should be enough. Crashies looking for the recon. You see that XSET have already gambled over towards A, which means it's going to be a clean sight. Yeah, it's going to be the camera spotting everything through, and that means XSET now are going to have to make the long rotation back. First up's going to be BCJ. In fact, they don't even trust. I think XSET might go for a TP. Yeah, here we go. Everyone's going to the TP.
Showstopper can be cleared out. Mummy's not going to find much with it, and Weeded, who I believe teleported over, as they're going to find the free kill. So,
Careful.
okay, a little bit of danger here. You still have the Bladestorm in play as well. Nice information there for BCJ. He just spams and finds a headshot. Aaron will actually take use of the information. Showstopper trying to come out also defensively for the retake. Here is still moving forward. Gonna run right into this dark cover, but he actually finds himself in front of a wall. Blast pack up top, updraft as well, and XSET cleanly retake. My goodness. So what we thought was going to be, in my mind, I thought for sure would have been an 11th round for Envy, actually turns up being a 7th round for XSET cleanly.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, you see XSET coming through 4 in the TP, a massive missed ultimate coming through from Mummy. I mean, he pulls out the showstopper and he just parts the Red Sea there. XSET just completely parts sides. You have Weeded who teleports into hookah, so he gets a free kill to Mummy. They can't trade. He gets a free gun. Aaron runs in, blast packing away. Just a stinger. It ends up being enough, and they get all the kills. BCJ, by the way, with the kill through the smoke on the crashies. So, you know, you talk about a situation where maybe crashies can clutch again. Well, not if he goes down to BCJ's ghost. No res either. Food couldn't find a body. All the bodies were scattered across the site, and Food has no access to anything. So if he wanted to go for a res, wasn't going to find one.
BCJ able to get up to the 20 kill threshold as well. A lot of ultimates on board here for Envy, but XSET are still also toting a Hunter's Fury coming into this round. And I'm just kind of curious to see at what point, you know, again, we've talked largely about XSET. They will collectively group up and hit aggressively. The first pistol was right down Main Street, and then you could argue that that last round also kind of showcased that by all players hitting the teleport aggressive, just looking for trades to pick up a weapon, and they cleanly get through hookahs. So will there be more of that in store? It's a 2-3 split up, though, this time for the defense. And the Aldrone will actually stall this hit coming out of hookah.
BCJ, by the way, holding onto the Hunter's Fury. Had the opportunity to maybe use a bit. Obviously, Envy don't have full equipment here. They got 3 rifles, 2 pistols, and res is available. Might not be used here because even if you res somebody, they only come back with a pistol or they come back with the same rifles. You don't actually increase the number of guns you have. Hunter's Fury did get put into there. Food heals himself back up, so it ends up being a pretty, I would say, low-value Hunter's Fury. BCJ gets to kill the Caboose, and we're into the 5v4.
Yeah, Caboose was stuck in the right corner over by the hookah archway. Finesse trying to deny the re-entry. Not going to be all that successful with it as XSET goes 3 for 2. Just down to Mummy, 1v3. Finds the first, but Aaron ready to spam the corner.
Thanks.
We'll find the immediate trade, and then we'll do a little bit of juggling as far as who will defuse the spike. Wanted to make sure that Showstopper comes up sooner than the neural theft, which, to be fair, is only 1 tick away.
Let's look at money now, because this is where things get interesting. Yeah, 2,900 for Food and Mummy. They can just buy a gun and have no armor. That would be pretty unfortunate. It just seems like XSET are going to have another fairly simple round to navigate with Envy not really being able to purchase up. You can see they're really struggling to figure out what the buy is going to be, if anything at all. And the sad thing is they have ultimates. They would love to use these ultimates, but you want to spend ultimates in a round where you have a fairly good chance at winning. So, look, if Envy can maybe find a couple of picks somewhere, start to get a couple of guns, turn things around, then I think the ultimates will really come into effect. But stuff like the resurrection in a round like this just doesn't even give you value because, again, you've risen to just bringing up another pistol.
Yep. Very solid point. So the spike will be left just outside the cave system. Pure will find one. This is an aggressive play for information, and Pure finds the second, no problem. So now the conversation of the resurrection won't even come to fold here, as it'll be a 3-for-1 exchange. Finesse gets caught by a trap wire for a second, giving Thwipe an opportunity for a free headshot, and now Mummy's by himself. 1v4, no reason not to go for it. And we'll confirm one headshot onto Abram, but that won't be enough to get a kill. So it'll be now just a 1-round count in favor of Envy still, but XSET have done well in these last handful to take the last 3 straight.
And as Aaron goes shopping for the secondary, it is confirmed that he prefers the Ghost over the Sheriff. Just saying, as we into a situation where XSET have more than caught up, now 1 round away from evening things up versus Envy. This is going to be the important one for Envy to keep their lead going. Otherwise, I mean, they're going to be into another broken bye. They're really, realistically looking at a very poor money situation. But this is one where they've been banking up ultimates, and they've had a lot of these ultimates for a very long time. They need to start using these. This will be a big one to get the resin.
Early slower. Aldrin will also be there. Tags. Recon Bolt will come through as well. That's not going to see a terrible amount of information, though. So a lot of utility spent early. That will likely mean that Envy will likely wait for the next Recon Bolt before they fully hit, unless they decide to hit the triggers on a Blast Pack player or something of the nature.
No Hunter's Fury either, so Crashies just holding on to that one for now. Maybe saving it for a post plant. Here come the smokes. Here comes the hit. The wall comes down to elbow as well. No one from XSET was playing elbow anyway. Both the defenders hanging out over towards spawn, and the rest of XSET have arrived. Everyone coming from the same direction. No one TPing.
A bit strange to be sure to see that coming through. Wallbang shots. XSET's been actually really good on their wallbangs so far, but won't confirm much there. Kaboose paranoid, just stalling the break to come in. 2 players over by elbow, 3 from the front. And XSET are just having a really tough time getting through this utility. And time is ticking, and there are still, again, it's this full 5v5 still. Paranoid's gonna come out. Now the hit comes through, but it's Food and Crashies holding down the triggers. They find a couple eliminations. And with that, it just comes down to one in Spear, and he's really got nowhere to go besides finding the operator and that tailwind to go away.
Yeah, he's got a couple of smokes left as well, so if they do try and chase down the operator, he should be able to maybe get a kill. There it is. Smoke himself away. At this point in time, oh, okay, Mummy's going to go for it. I remind you, by the way, Envy don't have a lot of money, so chasing down the operator and dying, I don't know if that's really recommended, because now look at the rebuys that have to come on through. This is kind of painful. Caboose doesn't have full armor anymore. I mean, they still have a number of ultimates to play through. Thankfully for Envy, they actually win that one cleanly enough. They don't have to use the ultimates because they got the site for free. They walk onto B, smoke out spawn, wall up elbow, and that's kind of it. I mean, all the rest of XSET are starting to come through from spawn. The 2 defenders that were there, who I believe were Thwifer and BCJ, are too far away to even affect the fight. So it ends up being a very simple tank for Envy, and hoping for another one of those, but I don't think XSET will give it to them because look at the setup now for B. Crossfire into hookah, and Puro with the operator over towards long. He gives up the angle.
Yeah, so he wants to maybe conceal his position a little longer, knowing that there's a Hunter's Fury, but he has forced it to the tailwind, updraft, nice little dodging going on right there. So he's able to pull out the Hunter's Fury. A big bit of resource down now for Envy. The operator still potentially getting a chance to be in play. Shock Dart will push him back, and it looks like that'll be enough information for Envy to sit there and say, we're good. Last pack, try to get through with the showstopper. Will go down right at the feet of Food. That'll be good for the elimination and allowing Abram to get out of dodge. 5v4, swipe over to the cyber cage, good for 1. Try to spam for another. Right push will be there. The hero theft will also come through, but it's Aaron staying with them as they find another elimination. Rifle will finally confirm, and now it's just down to Caboose. It would have to be essentially an ace in a 1v4. He does get the spike, so this is still doable. 35 seconds to go.
I've seen Crashies do this before, but he would have to be given a really nice situation, like 3 back-to-back 1v1s. He'll be given one of those very quickly as Weeded comes into sights. Plant should come on through. He doesn't trust it. Caboose doesn't realize it's clean. He'll TP back through, and he's kind of bewildered XSET a little bit. He does have to consider, look, there might be someone hiding. Finesse is one in the same position before. The dark cover will help. He will confirm the plant now. And it comes down to how XSET go for this retake. They have a recon available. Yeah, possibly Weeded still has a bit of util as well. Yeah,
he's tagged by the shock dart, though, on that plant, so he's down to 75 HP. Caboose jumping across. He only finds 1, needed to get a second. So XSET, I mean, I didn't want to bring it up too early, but in these close qualifiers, Avril, every time they've played blind, it's gone to overtime. We're at 11 to 10.
So there's a couple of things there. Either consistent in, I don't know, keeping it close, or otherwise they're consistent in either keeping it close or consistent in having it too close the other way. It's both good and bad at the same time, but now they've nearly evened it up. 10 to 11, 1 away from being on the same level as Envy, at least on this map, and it could be this round. In fact, it should be this round, as Envy are now back to another broken buy. Finesse will have the only gun available. Food technically could buy, but the opting to save here. Still no red so far. We're using some of these ultimates. Mummy's actually not that far away from Showstopper either.
Yeah. And those little things may be the difference makers in this set. Stack here for XSET. Down A main. Aldrin will move first. Slow Orb trying to hold it off, but really nothing there. And
wow, that's huge.
A little bit of RNG there for Weed that turns into a first kill. That's going to actually force Envy to rotate back. A number of members are low. BCJ holding the corner. He's good for not just one, but a second. They know the teleporters come down inside. Aaron finds the kill. Just down to Finesse. Stuck in a cyber cage. Nowhere to go. Flawless round to tie things at 11 for XSET.
Super unlucky there for Food. And just by the way, for anyone saying RNG game, that can happen in Counter-Strike as well. Just saying, as we head into the last couple of rounds here. Look, killing people through smokes is not unique to this game. But that was a pretty nice shot onto Food, if not a very lucky one onto Food as well. That wasn't the round, though, for Envy. I'm not just saying that because they lost the round, but consider the fact that they weren't really investing there. It was one gun coming through from Finesse, a stinger onto Food. The rest of them had pistols. They were probably going to win that one, whether it was going to be flawless or with a little bit of damage done. Now XSET are going to have money to play with for the rest of the last two rounds here. As, I mean, this could very well go OT, but at the same time, if even one round gets taken by XSET here, XSET have probably got it because Envy would have to, they would have to force fight essentially for the last round.
Yeah, no matter what happens in this round, even if XSET get fully wiped, they've got an economy that will allow them to purchase going into what would be round 24. So, yeah, marginal advantage, but obviously a much more of a must-win here for Envy overall. They do get the spike planted early. Weeded's going to bait the teleporter by shrouding, stepping away. You can have a long player on the back for Aaron, and Crashies was considering watching it. He's going to give this up now, though. BCJ's Aldrin on the way forward. And you've got to go here if you're Aaron, because there are 4 players that are stacked up for XSET. Hunter's Fury will come out. They should have one player caught in a corner. But no, not going to connect. Now the Showstopper coming through. Pier's only able to find one elimination with the Blade Storm. The Showstopper finding nothing, but Aaron on the flank able to come through. So now Envy is trapped in the site. Forced to win gunfights up close and personal. Caboose for 2. Now it's just down to him. He would have to get a 1v4, but will not sustain or survive. There should be...
Fine.
No, close. Not going to happen. He's done enough.
Incredible. Envy drop all their guns, but they win the round anyway. Wow, this is actually going to make the last round of the half really close. Because what should have happened is if XSET win that round, they keep 2 alive, they have the guns to buy up, they have the money to buy, obviously. Envy would have to come through on a loss bonus and it wouldn't be enough. But now they win that round. They get the 3K. They got the plant as well, by the way, and they will have 3 rifles in play. But you can tell because all 5 died, the rebuy still doesn't look good even though they win. So this could very likely now go to OT because the equipment value just doesn't seem enough for Envy.
That would be the XSET way on bind so far in these qualifiers. 14-12 and a 15-13. A loss and a W throughout the OT so far for XSET on bind. Weeded. I think he sees a pixel, and that's apparently enough. Gets the headshot onto Food. The dark cover, one-way smoke idea was enough for him to get a small advantage, but Caboose will still stick for a plant. No flank this time. XSET's retake going to have to come from the front, and Dwifo's actually found another elimination. So now it's down to a 5v3, and overtime is looking like a very strong likelihood. Although Finesse has gotten out, is going to play a clutch spot through mid. So XSET still need to clear. They do well to find one. Crashy staying alive. Finesse needs to just keep his position concealed till the last second. And now he is the last player, but the kills will not be there. And we will head to overtime. Of course we would. It's XSET on bind after all.
And Envy, unfortunately, they're not going to get the res off at the end of the day. Food, the first one dead. Held on to res, I think, for the entire half. I don't see a single... I can't remember when the last time I saw a res was. They didn't get a lot of gun rounds, so there were multiple rounds there where Envy was saving. I mean, you can just see it on the round summary here. Envy barely won rounds this half. And barely got a chance to really use their ultimates as well, because you ideally don't want to waste ultimates on rounds you're not going to win anyway. It just so happens Food ended up being the first death on round number 24. And they only get that one because of timing as well. So Envy kind of scraped through to get into this position because otherwise XSET could have had a 13-11 instead. Envy got to the overtime themselves due to the fact that there wasn't enough time to get the defuse in the OT. Now, I think Envy are in a much better position because just getting to the OT was going to be hard enough for them. So now that we are in the OT, they don't need to worry about the money situation anymore.
I just think it's one of those things that coming off of the Luminosity set and here again versus XSET, Envy's offense has been struggling. Which I say with surprise because statistics would lean towards them having a much more favorable attacking half than they would defensively. At least so far through the open quals, that was the case. So a bit of struggle happening on the offense, and that's where I'm really looking for Envy. If they want to have a way to win this OT, they need to find a way to start getting these executes off and really just largely just holding their post plant setups a little bit better.
I mean, there's a couple things here in terms of, you look at compositions. Also, Food is not on an actual duelist. When you see Food on something like a Phoenix, he is a lot higher percentage chance of actually popping off. I think the Sage is actually working in this composition in terms of Sage is good for both attack and defense. I mean, you can see what you can achieve here, locking out one of the lanes pretty quickly on the attack. You can also lock out elbow. Anything you want, get a free plant. So, I mean, you trade the possibility for a player to be on a duelist to pop off for the extra utility. And down to round 1 of this OT, Crashies has been tagged by the tracking dot, but it's actually Thwifer who gets the kill into Food.
That's going to open up the hookah play. Now all of these members for Envy are actually stuck long, and XSET are 100% aware of it. Thwifer just comes around, gets 3, hits the neural theft because why not if you've earned it? And the last player of Finesse gets caught in a dark cover. Wow. I mean, again, it's just the fact that they get the opening pick onto Food, and then from there, Envy's just stacked up inside the octagon. There's nowhere for them to go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pick on the guy because XSET's done that all game, but the guys are 9-20 at the moment. It's not great for one of your duelist players who, if this was him on Phoenix right now, he'd be right up there. But sadly, it's just a different look. It's just a very different look on this particular agent. As one away now for XSET to take the map away, take us to the next one, and for Envy to barely even scrape into OT to now be in a really rough situation. At least they're not going to be an attack this time. We talked about the attack for Envy being pretty rough. Now they get to... I'm sorry, now they get to attack. That was a defense. I got it the wrong way around. So maybe this is going to be rough for them because you did say, like, Envy's attack has been rough and now they're going to have to do it again.
Crashies will clear out hookah. Nothing there, but this is just a solo play for him. Envy is looking to come out of this A zone. The only player defensively here is going to be Thwifer. A lot of utility for him here, but one of the strap wires has been dealt with, and he's just going to give this up. Wait for help. Try to play his life for as long as possible. He's actually used both of his cyber cages as well, so he's in a pretty troubling position unless he can find the kill and the Finesse. The last shot gets through the wall bang for a kill. So now a 5v4. XSET's overtime track record has been good, but Crashies response. 4v4 situation. Abram with paint shells, able to trade back. Back and forth we go. Food paranoid, able to stay alive. Barrier orb will be dealt with. BCJ peeks wide, finds the kill. Now Kaboose trying to finesse. Does get taken care of in XSET. They clean things up. They take both overtime rounds. And that will be them up after the bind, which was not their pick, I don't believe, was it? Or was it?
XSET pick bind.
Okay, it was. My bad.
Yeah, so Envy have split coming up, but still, my goodness, it's like a back-to-back defeat on bind. Today has not been great for Envy. 0-2 versus Lumen.
Categorized Viper so far, again, not just on split, but also Icebox, is that when it's successful, your team is usually enjoying a pretty comfortable lead, but when you're not playing well and you're not finding value off the Viper, you're typically down big.
And Ascent to be coming in map 3 if we even get to there. We did up first for contact. Plenty of defenders, by the way, for XSET. Get to see everything. There it is. Everybody coming up ramp, and that's a lot of kills going both ways.
2 for 1. Thwifer keeping his life for as long as possible. BZJ goes 1 for 1, but Food has actually collected all 3 kills so far, and he's able to self-sustain off the healing orb. Abram up top will be met. This is going to have a little bit of help here, but this is a 2v3 retake that's going to be really just down to who sees who first. And Food's position will kind of allow him to kind of go back and forth through this billiard.
XSET, they have a ult line coming up in 10 seconds. No flashes, though. Crashies still has 2 flashes available and a heal, so that's going to be very important for Envy. Obviously, with the extra players alive as well. Aaron goes down early. It's just going to be Thwifer. 2 HP. Can't do it. Crashies for 2 kills. So between Crashies and Food, they'll clean up all 5, working towards those ultimates. And again, even if they did get tagged up, the amount of healing, by the way, on Envy is insane between both playing a Sage and a Skye.
Well, here we go. Pistol win for Envy on their attack. Again, the aggressive hit does pan out to get them the ability to go top side A ramp and then just never really contested the full high ground. It's just playing numbers down low was going to be good enough. So good stuff overall. And food for 3 means that resurrection could come into the conversation pool much faster than we would normally anticipate.
You could tell he was thinking about buying a rifle there. He had 3,900. Technically, he could go for, like, you know, a phantom plus a bit of armor and util or no util. It really is favoring that utility right now as Mummay will be contacted by multiple members of XSET. How many does he get here? 2 is enough for now as Thwyfo returns the FEB, but can't pick up the gun. Thwyfo might not even be able to make it out alive on 28 HP.
Crashies good for another. Caboose gonna stick for the plant. BCJ trying to work his way down. Aaron mid-map. Neither gonna find any success. Envy only dropped 1 as they also confirmed the plant in the mix. So for their second round, again, the offense stabilizing and really looking much better. I mean, again, one of the big critical things we had to say about them at Pine was that their executes were a little bit slow to get going and their post-plant setups were crumbling maybe way too quick. So far, so good through the pistol and the anti-eco.
Now, if they actually gave Food some of these plants, he would be much closer to the res now. So he's 4 out of 7 and 4 out of 1 in the KD. I believe who's been getting some of these plants? Yeah, it's been Kaboose with 2 plants. That's why he's on 2 out of 7 at the moment. So not entirely great in terms of maximizing ult charge value. But this is going to be the gun round now for XSET, a big one for them. Weeded, who we noticed in previous games starting out lots of times in vents. Not really done that just yet. To come down to Pura to try and hold off aggression into heaven.
Here comes the push, full force. Pure's just going to step into the dark cover, keep his position relatively concealed. Reach out, off the flashpoint, not going to find any information. Good timing on the peak, though. Thwyfo still considering, and Mummay cannot tailwind away, so there will be first blood for XSET, but the middle of the map is now currently in possession of Envy. Weeded will be the player next up. He's on top of the rafters. He's holding his life, able to stay away from one flash. Timing here should be good for a kill, and that's the spike that's also down. So a snakebite will come out to make sure he stays safe, but Finesse mid-map has stalled up some of this defensive rotation as he's good for not just 1 but a second, and 3v3 we go. While this has all occurred, Envy has collected the spike and is rotating back.
So much of this is Finesse. If Finesse doesn't get those 2 kills, first of all, there's no free gun on the ground, but second of all, Envy are stuck. They have to recollect the spike. They can't quite go to A. They have no information on B, but Finesse opens up B entirely, has full control over attack of defender spawn, rather. Now get to play a full 3v3 post-plant. Low HP for Pura, 42 just to work with. And for Envy, a very good opportunity.
Information will be confirmed on where this hit's going to be coming from with the retake. Wall gets put up, but it's not going to make too much of a difference, will it? No, sure will not. Crashies Caboose deal with the one-dimensional hit, no problem. Only dropping 1 and 3 up early. Envy and XSET will be back onto a save. Eco round coming up.
You also have to say as well, Food putting down the wall ends up being pretty high value and working with the fact that Finesse was hard flanking, hard lurking. Typically that wall would be kind of, you know, yeah, it would slow things down, but it slowed things down enough so that it gave Finesse the ability to make the flank through to get those 2 kills. So at the end of the day, whether it was intentional or not, the fact that those 2 things interacted with each other, the wall into Finesse's flank, into the fact that they planted on B and had a good post but recovered the spike, that is how Envy bring it through to get 3 in a row. And really for XSET, an upsetting round to lose with their guns gone now. They have to kind of half buy into Marshalls. That's BCJ that's firing in the back there. Ramp control is gone and Weeded is out of the picture.
Oh, but we've got Pure, who's found a lot of value with the blade storm. You saw a world where maybe he even gets the 3rd, but the Seekers also came into play and maybe deterred his line of sight on that last shot. But Thwyfo is able to take down Crashies. That's a lot of weaponry down up top. That should be good for XSET to collect. Aaron wants to make sure that he can hold his position over towards the backside of screens, while his teammates will go a little bit of shopping in play. So a 3v2 retake situation. Envy is currently stuck on the low ground. Mummy's going to reveal part of his position over towards the right side of elbow. Finesse will watch 1 player come down. Easy for the kill. Thwyfo the response. He's able to get himself onto 3, and that will be enough. XSET with the retake again.
And limited utility coming back from Thwyfo as well. Obviously, he has his ult already, so he's going to give the defuse over to Aaron. In that sort of situation, Mummay would have to get 1 kill. I mean, if Finesse was in a great position to open up in the 2v3, Can't quite see the head of Thwifo, and they can't win the following 1v1 either. And this is where things really start for XSET as well. I mean, they lose 2 to crashies, but like you sort of mentioned, bjor instantly responding with 2 of his own, keeping numbers as even as possible, allowing the retake via the other 3 members that much more possible as now we look towards the Rolling Thunder potentially for this round in a retake. XSET finally bringing one back and guns in their hands.
Get out of my way.
Guiding Light will just scout things out initially to see what's on A ramps. BCJ has actually found first blood. Is again spamming right through this connector. It looks to be a dark cover that he was able to place as well. So a good first blood coming out. Guiding Light again just to see what's in front. BCJ finds another elimination. Same exact position. Just holding this angle down, and Envy, like lemmings, have
Oh man,
monkey see, monkey dude this.
that's a VAC performance right there. Not the first time we've seen BCJ just spam through smoke and collect kills. Remember buying, remember food, trying to plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, we certainly do. The stream remembers. And now they can save ultimates. This should be a round that would be a fairly good cleanup now. XSET should not have to use the Rolling Thunder, nor from the shadows. BCJ. He's like, where's my smokes? I want to spam again. He's got 2 players in front of him right now. Should be calling for some reinforcements. Paranoid to come on through.
We did up top. Still has his toxic screen that he has not placed as of yet. Spike will be
Spike
allowed
planted.
to come down. 3v5 situation. Resurrection is available. Yeah, and there's going to be the call. BCJ on the reprisal, trying to hit the same angle. This time, Food has wisened up to it, finds the kill. Caboose waiting for the timing to peek mid-map. He comes up the rope. Easy kill there. And then from behind, Abram was chasing his shadow and will get the exchange. Now 2v2. Mummy has pulled out the Blade Storm. Already made good on 1 kill with it. Spike tempted to be defused. Pure is going to try to watch over the top of him.
Remaining.
And as he
Last
does, Rifle
player
actually gets
standing.
off to go 1-for-1, but now it's down to the timing. Trailblazer comes out. That's information coming through. Pure has to try to stick this. And as he does, there just won't be enough time for him to take a secondary challenge, and Crashies can clutch things up. Envy up 4-1.
Well played by Crashies. No surprises there, actually. Crashies has been playing super well in clutch scenarios. No more smokes either by Pure. If he had 1 more Cloudburst, that would have been a different situation. Would force Crashies to either commit himself or get lucky and spam through the smoke, similar to what BCJ has done. It's a combination of killing BCJ plus committing a res coming from Food to make it a 4v4. So yeah, you are going to have to use the Rolling Thunder. Pretty equal trades both sides around. 2v2 and an open plant as well that ends up being so high value for Envy to make sure that XSET do not get a second round in a row. And it starts to remind me of Bind again, where early on for XSET, it was just so hard for XSET to get more than 1 round. So they get 1 round, get their loss bonus reset, and the next buy just doesn't look great. And similarly to now, they have 3 rifles, and one of those rifles goes on the floor.
First time we'll really see some big pressure from Envy, maybe early through the middle of the map. Finesse is making sure no one is going to push through long A, wouldn't which he very well could catch We Did out. Timing is keeping everything here. We Did never, or pardon me, BCJ never even checked the corner. We Did also drops though, meanwhile mid-map. Pure taking a lot of damage off the Nano Swarm, and Envy have wrapped right through vents, and they will be freely onto the A site.
5v2 situation, everyone looking healthy. Even if they weren't, the heals are available. Now the question is, have XSET collected any guns here? They'll go for Thwifo's gun on the ground over towards B main. So yeah, that's going to be 1 rifle. What you can do is try and save that 1 rifle where Pure, I think Pure also bought a rifle, so they've actually got 2 guns to play with now, but time will run out. 2v5 is not really possible. Bunch of Sage utility can still be played. Finesse, I think, has read that, yeah, he's heard the turret come down, I believe, so he knows roughly where the last 2 guys exit are, but it doesn't look like Envy will try and push. This is going to be a handshake here where Envy are going to walk away with 5 guns and XSET will walk away with 2.
All right, well, Avril, this is again a great start for Envy fans. Offensively, I mean, they're just replicating the magic that we've come to know about them on this map overall. They've been playing so clean. Another 5-man effort where nobody drops. 8-1 for Crashies. And on the other side, we brought it up. You know, We Did, would he have to have another incredible performance for XSET to be competitive here like he was during TSM? He's only 1-6, only 1 assist so far.
And pretty similar to what we saw versus TSM as well, where XSET only got 3 rounds in the entire first half. But that being said, that was XSET's attack. XSET did much better on the defense, and now they're kind of failing on the defense. So, you know, topsy-turvy land, maybe they wouldn't have to do really well in the attack now, and that's a little bit later on. They can still maybe bring things back. We're only 6 rounds in, mind you, and certainly things can look a lot better. Not a pr goes down. And yeah, the Viper's Pit's in play, but you don't want both of your defenders looking over towards A if Viper's Pit's in play right now. You want to get Aaron off of A as fast as possible.
Trailblazer actually will see information on players that are down into the B site right now. They also know that this A tower, or part of this B tower, is completely open for the taking. So with that, they will collect that high ground. Dwifo would have to contest. From BCJ, who has made his way up top, but his position will be revealed, and he didn't like what he saw. He immediately backs right up, and there will be no exchange for lives, at least not for now. But Envy, they sit there and they say, okay, no need for us to commit to B. They'll go on over to A, and as Weeded has left his Viper's Pit, he will now be forced to contest this from the high ground, and the right click is good. He finds himself 2 kills. Able to get the reload off. Boots for 1. The next exchange. That's going to be good for Weeded. He's able to avoid the sniper rifle shot, but Mummay switches to the pistol and cleans things up. Envy up 6-1.
Weeded nearly being a bit of a hero there. He's jumping up and kills very quickly now. Before this round, I believe he only had the 1 frag, but now suddenly we're looking at a 4-7. It's not going to be around for XSET, but he made it competitive. 1 Viper's Pit into a couple more frags. You have to really credit Finesse, by the way, as another play that's really scouting out quite effectively for Envy. Starts going over towards Vents. Envy lose a lot of confidence over towards B, rotating onto A, and they just got to get past Weeded, and well, they eventually did, but at quite a bit of a cost.
Another Trailblazer through the middle of the map. Crashies again will confirm a bit of information on where XSET is positioned, but that is all that is. It's just an intel gathering tool. The spike has been left over through market, so even though Envy have 3 members that are playing up through A, potentially even onto the A ramps. Well, okay, there's the first kill. Weeded would have had to hit a, he would have had to hit a pretty solid sheriff shot right there to contest against the operator.
I mean, I barely even saw Weeded, just Mummay completely snapping on. Food now onto Pura, so this is going to be a 3 versus 5. Seekers to come on through. 1 Seeker will reveal Aaron. Aaron is in quite a bit of trouble now. His position has been compromised, has been pinged out. They see the shoulders, they see the head. That's going to be more than enough. It should be a plant into a 5v2. Sage Wall comes into play as well. PCJ would love to be able to get onto site to even find 1 frag, but it's not looking good.
Yeah, Envy has just been so darn convincing on their attacks. Their executes have been so good, and yeah, the reveal will be there. Not really holding much hope here for BCJ. None will be inspired into him as he does fall quickly, so 7-1 for Envy. And now you're in the must-win territory for XSET. I mean, you've got to start taking defensive rounds away. Without question.
Now you can start to see Sky's value there as well. The fact that you have the guiding light coming through late, BCJ being caught by that one, his positioning has been revealed. And sure, he only had a pistol anyway, but it's the kind of difference between Sky and Sofa in terms of the value is you can probably get 3 recons over the course of a round. Obviously split up between the different, the cooldowns, 35 seconds each, I believe. But for Sky, you can kind of use them back to back to back. Which can be pretty useful. PRR now would love to find a shot, shoots very early and instantly backs off the line.
It's just one of those things you have to remember for XSET. That battle with TSM was all defense. Yep. So the fact that they've only taken 1 round away so far is not great news. So you've got to find a way to collectively take the better part, if not all of these final 4 rounds of the half. Envy will get the information they were looking for and then immediately back up through sewers as it looks like this will eventually be some sort of an execute to B with a minute to play.
For what it's worth, by the way, we haven't really seen massive value out of the Viper.
None.
Has the Viper utility really changed up in the rounds in favor of XSET? The 1-7 scoreline would say no. Weeded is also not performing super hard so far. He got that triple kill in that 1 round with a stinger. That was pretty good. But for now, XSET have a decent amount of tools. If they retake this one, Rolling Thunder, Lockdown, this is all really big for them, especially the opening kills. Weeded, okay. So he's been talking smack, and now he's starting to perform.
Yeah, sure is. How about 4 headshots, Avril? Put that down your pipe and smoke it. XSET now.
Way ahead of you.
required round, to be fair. They absolutely needed to get it. And all of a sudden, Weeded goes from 1-6 to 8-8. So it took him a while to activate, but, well, activate he has, especially in that last round.
Turret out.
And that's great as well, because now they don't have to use the ultimates. And otherwise, that would have been a retake where, either Rolling Thunder or Lockdown, maybe even both, if they're not feeling confident, would have had to come into play. The massive ult advantage. Now Food is nearly looking towards the next resurrection. Mummy still has an operator. That op is a bit of an issue. Pura will have to try and challenge, but so far both the jets are going to be on opposite sides of the map. Crashies will get some free info off this Hawk as well. So yeah, that should be a confirmation of the fact that Pura is sniping. Challenges anyway, gets a shot onto Pure, but doesn't get the kill. Lucky to stay alive as well as Pure misses the shot also.
Spike is still leaning towards B. All of the Killjoy utility is pinned up in a corner. The only thing that's not is the turret, and Mummy can actually just walk right through it. Never even scouted him out at all. So he's the first one through this minefield, and he's done so successfully. The rest of the team's going to get there. XSET are going to have no idea that they're on the site. The turret still hasn't seen anything.
Yeah, I mean, the alarm bot certainly does know. The turrets are heaven-only turrets, so they're trying to set up a bit of a crossfire between the turret and also Thwyfo. Wall's going to lock everyone through, so XSET now have no choice. Lockdown has been initiated very quickly to allow the rest of X to get here in time. Crashies is just hanging out, by the way. Nice snake bite just to slow him down. I don't think they know that Crashies is actually there, though.
The slow orb is placed in a beautiful spot. We also have the Rolling Thunder coming out. Weeded still finds the connection onto one nanosecond! Could he find one more? Not the case. Spike gets defused. Aaron takes elimination off the operator threat. And that's 2 rounds in a row. And the Rolling Thunder brilliantly placed in the backdown of what was a lockdown that largely didn't confirm as much space as I think XSET were hoping for.
No, it allowed XSET to get onto site a little bit quicker, though. And yeah, you're right. Look, Weeded got caught by Thwyfo's Rolling Thunder, so it's a bit of a team stun there. A bit of an interesting situation where he's stunned up. I can't remember who the first kill was. It might have been Caboose. Like, both players are stunned up trying to shoot at each other, and Weeded does win that duel, and now he's starting to get really far ahead. Viper Spit is back into play, which means this round, again, Weeded can just put the Viper Spit down into A if he wants to. Gonna hold on to that for now, though, as 3 players from XSET are holding A currently. That's where Envy's gonna go as well.
2 guiding lights already sent out earlier this round. And Envy will use the Cyber Cage to try to push through, also collecting an ultimate orb. That's enough for the Seekers to potentially come out again. See the Poison Cloud just sitting in the middle of the map. Will fade away. Dark cover just beyond it. We did.
I've got your
I mean, you see there's a lot of players in play here. Has to get the snake bite down. The Seeker will be deleted, but he's not able to challenge the angle. Slowing orb will also make sure he cannot get off rafters. But Envy have not committed for any of this push through yet. They've faded right back into A lobby, and everything just goes back to square one, essentially.
I mean, both teams trying to bait out a better utility here. Both Nano Swarms are still available as well, so Aaron not going to be baited to at least use those just yet. Viper Spit's there. I think if they got the Viper Spit out, Envy would have just left and gone to B. And XSET are getting confused now because you see BCJ's rotated over, realizes he's made the wrong call, has to return immediately. Weeded couldn't get a kill through the smoke. There's food, should be a freebie, it is. Always love me some free food. Caboose to follow up and has to reload, so he won't get punished. Down to a 3v3.
But BCJ playing through the defensive screens, able to find one. Operators also made its way over to try to help the same angle. Mummy with the Blade Storm out. Spike down. Here comes the double shell through the elbow. Mummy's been able to avoid being located for now. But the player up top, the players are going to be able to lock things down. Crashies only good for 1. Mummy also falling simultaneously. It looked to be a quick scope from Pure. And so we essentially framed up that XSET are required really to get out of this half 5-7. They've done well to give them a realistic chance of doing just that.
Let's take a look at the money situation. What if Envy got to work with now? Should be enough. Yeah, there it is. Finesse will require a drop, but yeah, everyone else has got enough money. Yeah, Fu is going to be the guy to drop, and Mummy will be able to pick up another operator. Don't actually see a lot of offensive operators anymore, even if you're on a jet. A lot of jet players actually prefer to just bring the rifle into attacks.
Yeah.
And Food is actually, yeah, he's after dropping for Finesse, he'll just have perspective for himself. Still with the Resurrection. Now, we finished Bind second half without using a Resurrection before we hit into OT. Would like to see an opportunity this time for Food to get that into play. Would be fairly high value, as well as everyone does have a gun on his team except for himself. And Viper's Pit now means that BCJ really should be able to fall offside. BCJ kind of hanging around still when he doesn't need to. Should be going towards mid, at least looking over heaven, because look at Vents right now. That's Emily stacking up big.
XSET, I thought for sure would know this because there was a flashpoint and push through for Pure with the Bladestorm to B main. They didn't see anything. You saw Pure just immediately tuck tail and run back over towards mid. but paranoia coming out good for BCJ. Finds one. Spamming just to make sure there's not a second, so they know the threat is absolutely coming through vent. Weedy just resets to make sure his toxic cloud stays up, and then comes back through to challenge and finds one more. But now the Viper's Pit will fade away. We have a 4v3 situation, and beyond that, Caboose has been tagged up pretty heavy, so an advantage here for XSET. If they can read this rotation, Aaron good for one, but not a second, so still an opportunity for Envy to get on in, but they're still stuck just outside the B site.
Aaron probably didn't need to re-swing that one, but it doesn't matter. Thwyful will get the cleanup. 5-7. That's going to be the half over. And no plant for Envy, no resurrection. They'll be saving that one for the next half.
And that's where we will continue our coverage. But for now, we'll send things to...
Yep.
And, that was a requirement for XSET to take those last 4 rounds in my ride.
And now you look to the situation where, yeah, if XSET have a real chance of winning this map, it's going to be on the second half because they dropped far too many rounds. If you look at only the first 8 rounds in a row, a 1-7, that is an incredibly dire situation. To be fair, though, I do rate the Viper more highly on the attacking side than the defending side, just in terms of wall setups you can have. The early wall, speaking of walls, the Sage wall comes down very early for food towards B main. It's all the mid control that XSET wants so far.
Quick rotation over. Toxic screen will also be prematurely placed, just to try to see if they can bait out any rotations. But Envy playing on polar opposite sides. Map Caboose, he's caught with his paranoia out. Thwyfel's good for one, but he's able to pull the frenzy up to find a trade. Slow orb also in the mix. Food able to help out, but Pure is there for the exchange, keeping things 3v3. Food by himself, hoping for some help. It will not be here in time, and XSET will have a 3v2 with likely the opportunity to get this spike planted.
Actually, a huge read from Caboose to even have the paranoia out in time, considering they were faking towards A. I'm talking about XSET here. Now they've actually got control over on B. The plant has come in 1 versus 2. Finesse has to do it all. A couple of low HP members. Oh my goodness, we did. There was a full HP gets taken down, and now maybe it's possible. It is more than possible for Finesse. A clutch situation. 3 kills, a defuse, and 15 HP. Round number 1 in this half, and the pistol goes the way of Envy.
I mean, oh my goodness, the amount of things that had to happen right there for Finesse to have a chance. You catch one player a bit off guard. The other 2 are caught on mismatched reloads, so they can't help each other. And he barely misses a bullet. Unbelievable. And just when you thought that was going to be enough for XSET to get right back in this game, Finesse just steals it right away. 8-5, and that's going to force XSET to force. So it's going to be full SMGs coming into this next round.
So Flash is coming through with Wi-Fi as well. Maybe a fast toxin screen. Look at that early smoke coming through from Caboose as well. Just covering mid, just making sure they can deal with any sort of aggression. They haven't actually confirmed information that is a force yet. Technically, Envy don't know. They have a wall down early, just going to be the pistols being shot through. So all that they can here are classics being shot. So as far as Envy know, this is a save.
A couple of shoulders have been seen, though, by BCJ. Envy considering still checking. Barrier orb will be gapped just a touch, and it looks like XSET will actually maybe make this execute back over to A. They're making the rotation for it, and largely Weeded has just been using these toxic screens just to try to bait. Said that, wait, we're going this direction. Wait, no, we're not.
You see over towards A because they're not playing the Cypher. They can't quite get ramp control easily. Aaron has to just sit by and lobby. Next, now we'll have the camera out. Yeah, they'll see plays. This is how they know it's going to be A. Multiple members from XSET now moving forward. In just a moment, they'll be able to know it's Stingers as well. Once Envy knows that, they can plan accordingly.
30 seconds left.
XSET, though, looking to maybe rotate right back through vents.
Time.
That will be the case. Time will be a bit of a problem here because Envy still have 3 members that will be here to defend the B zone. So Pure will be likely the first one down. Paranoia going to slow things up just a touch. 15 seconds. Have to start making a play. No, this is one player in the corner, but Pure, he's trying to red dot chase, and while he does that, rather, he's going to get a little bit of assistance from behind. He did. Essentially by themselves. Good for a couple of kills. Not enough time for the plant to come through anymore. You got to play for the kills, and Aaron will recognize that they are not going to get there in time. And Envy, they take the force buy round against XSET. 9-5 up now.
I gotta tell you, in a situation where a team that is attacking needs to go for the plant, doesn't have time, the plant has to go for the kills. Envy have felt the pain of that before. They're not gonna have another proto situation repeat itself today. So wisely backing away, playing for the time. Their XSET should have just committed onto A. They got cold feet, a little bit too scared, walked onto B at 25 seconds and no time to plant at all. And Fortunately, that means their force buy has been fairly wasted. They are down on money. Envy are looking pretty. Envy barely have to even put much money into this. Look at their banks right now. Looking just fine. As they head into a situation where Envy could be on 10 after this round.
I mean, that's just... Heartbreak led to more heartbreak, really. I mean, XSET 3v1 situation, trying to win the pistol, can't close it out. Force buy, get caught with no time left.
Bot coming back.
And you might think that those 2 rounds might just be the game right there. It's going to take something incredible for XSET, especially against a very resilient Envy defense that has showcased that not just recently, but really since Envy's been a team.
Envy are definitely going to win a winning situation. For Envy to kind of lose from here as well would be quite the fall from grace. I mean, first of all, they'd be out of the tournament. This is a lower bracket game. Winner makes top 4. Winner goes to close qualifying number 2, as well as they'll be in the money for the big prize in the 50k prize pool. Here we go. We're on to A now. Guiding Light is going to maybe get a little bit of information. XSET all over the place here. Envy about to be surrounded.
Not going to make a difference. The weaponry just better. Mummay finds 3, in fact, just by keeping their life in the back. Nice little transfer between one first and the second third. So, 10-5, the tally. XSET from here on out. You've got to find a way, really, to string together, what, 4 rounds in a row at least. I mean, the easy answer to say 5, but talking about how the economy would work out, you need to win this one and a second where Envy can still full purchase. So the third one would be the one where you're able to essentially put Envy in financial trouble, but I mean, that's looking way down the road where we still need to get in the car to make that trip.
So they got 5 guns versus just the 2 coming through from the Envy side of things, and we're still working with 2 Spectres, one Stinger. On Caboose, that is. A little bit of aggression coming through from Envy over mid as well. Same toxin screen we've seen most rounds. Wall coming down on A, by the way, so that's going to be very good in terms of information for Envy. As long as the wall remains up and is not broken, they know A main is clean. Could be players coming through from vent, but there's also a trap wire in there. Envy have A locked down in terms of utility.
Guided Light comes through. Paranoia also spent. Crashies doesn't challenge. One more Hawk to come through. That will push XSET right back into the middle of the map. Toxic screen running out of gas, has to be recharged. And it looks like XSET again are considering making their way through vents. There is a trap wire down in there. Food could use that to potentially either come behind or take kills on the transfer between the 2 sites.
Starting to get to a low amount of time now. XSET have a Viper's Pit that they can't use yet either because they have to wait for a post-plant. Crashies sitting by with Caboose. Oh my goodness, this is about to happen. Everyone's on the other side. And the rifles will swing in. 2 kills per team. Toxic screen comes up. Finesse has to try and hold. Can't get the kill. There should be a plant from now.
Yeah, Pure gets all 3 in this battle. High ground will be repossessed, though, from Envy's POV.
Spike planted.
Food the first one up, and it looks like Mummy's going to wrap all the way around the back, trying to hit us from multiple angles. Not going to use the Viper's Pit, obviously, as being fallen, but it's at a position now where Envy, it just comes down to the decision of how you're going to come right back into the pit. Just brilliant. They find 1. BCJ. Paranoia actually does connect. He's going to go right into the cloud burst, see if he can bait. It's all about the timing through the backside of it. Mummy finesses by getting on the outside, and Envy will be on 11.
Just too many smokes available for Mummy. Still has full utility across the board, even beyond the cloud burst as well. See, the Paranoia does connect onto Mummy, I think. But at the same time, you can't get the shots in because there's, again, too many smokes in the way. Caboose has to check the spike. He has no idea where Mummy is. Mummy outpositions, outplays. Is able to give Envy another round. 11 now. And for XSET, that should have been the one that was so close to being the one. It's another very early lead for Envy. XSET had to make a comeback happen on that initial half, and it's going to have to be that again now on the second half. Envy are gearing up for this map number 3, and for XSET, limited opportunity now to try and swing things back in their favor.
Oh boy. Mummy gonna get flashed off the angle. Cloud burst, keeping him alive. Also, the updraft gets him out of dodge. He was actually blinded while he tries to maneuver through that updraft, but it's all right. Seekers will be there. A couple of guiding lights just to make sure that XSET can no longer threaten the top side of the A tower, and they're successful, at least for now, NVR, in making sure that that does hold true. So XSET will have to reset. Plenty of time here still. But again, that Viper's Pit, as you mentioned from the round previous, would probably only be used for a post-plant situation. So still need to get onto the site some way, somehow.
They definitely know that there's no one on site right now as Finesse is covering that. Smoker's going to come on through Paranoia. Finesse has to get a lot of kills. Gets one. Another swing from Food as well. That's a beautiful second kill. Brings XSET down to only 3 members. They have Rolling Thunder available. Doesn't even look like they can plant. Caboose is there for the cleanup. Just a little res for Embry if they need it.
Player standing.
Caboose is staying alive, so crucial. We will eventually take the challenge, but it's caught toggling between knife and primary, and Envy will be on map point. And
Match point.
XSET just, I mean, like you had mentioned, we were kind of watching some of that TSM game when it was happening. I mean, they just looked like they were a totally different beast. Not so much the case here. You were also mentioning the fact that Aaron on the Killjoy, you just did not love the pick of Killjoy on this map. I mean, he's only 3 and 12 with only 3 assists.
You also have to consider the fact that XSET beat TSM on split, usually partially due to the fact that TSM made a lot of mistakes as well. TSM had a great first half, similar to what we've seen from MB in terms of how they've handled, you know, some of these halves so far, at least the beginning parts of it. And once again, you're going to have a good start for Finesse getting the kill to Pura. TSM had to really throw their second half versus XSET, and MV don't look like they're doing that right now. MV look like they're in control.
Trailblazer having a little bit of issue coming around. And that was all XSET wanted to do right there is hit the aggressive nature that we've kind of talked about before. It's a Bladestorm popped right through the Rolling Thunder, gets shut down. All of their ultimate presence to open a site have completely gone aside. Resurrection will be there for Caboose to come back to play. So it'll be a 5v3. Yeah, sure has, hasn't it?
I mean, they still got a Viper's Pit, but where are you supposed to use this one? How are you supposed to use this one? You got 2 flash left. Here we go. Weeder gets a kill. Fu cleans it up. 1 alive now. Aaron on 3 to 12. They get 4? No.
Nope.
Defenders win.
Not gonna happen here. So we'll send things to a set. A brilliant display by Envy, but still a lot to prove. Let's be honest here. I mean, we'll talk about it more when we come back here in a minute, but I mean, this is still Envy. I would still feel like those things up here versus XSET.
MV also really failed to take pistols on this map, I believe, versus LG when we just saw them a little bit earlier on.
That's very true, yeah.
Yeah, LG had most of the pistols down lock, so it's going to be an important one, and no surprises here. It's going to be frenzies for pretty much every single player, certainly for all the players on MV. The players on MV right now spreading themselves across the map. A lot of pressure onto A, actually. 3 players onto A, droning through into mid. See nothing into mid. They got to know something's up.
Well, the defensive members for Envy were actually so far pushed up into B main that these 2 defensive members are going to have to kind of back down just a little bit, just throw some spam shots out, and while they do, it's actually going to find first blood. Yeah. Pure able to find the second just as he starts to close the door into Food's face. So now it's going to be a 5v3 situation. XSET already on the side. They already have a player watching the back flank, but Aaron gets caught with a knife out, so there will be at least one exchange here. An opportunity for that flank to come through, but someone's going to have to find more success on one of these opposite angles. Pure's going to contest close. Finesse going to make point of contact. Not going to win the gunfight, though. So now it's just down to what happens from the front. XSET are triple stacked underneath. He'll take down Mummay, and now it's just down to Caboose for a 1v3. Difficult situation to be sure. Finds the first part of a 1v4. There would be the 1v3 at the end, but we did with one with the triple kill, and that will be the offense for XSET initially.
Yeah, it had to be Finesse getting the last kill onto Pura in that 1v1 over towards A main. Lucky, I mean, Pura was on like low HP anyway, like I sort of said there. And if Finesse just connects a couple of shots, like 1 or 2 shots, would have been enough. Would have had this extra pressure coming through from A main. The 2 of them could work together in terms of, you know, Caboose and Finesse coming into the retake. That would have been possible, but a 1v4, yeah, a little bit too much to work against. So it's kind of like a similar story to what we saw versus LG now. Just difficulty on the pistol here for this map.
Spam shots. Cloudburst, I thought nearly may have been the kill, but BCJ only confirms a handful of damage. An expensive ultimate orb, but still one that's collected by Envy, and they hold 5 members still. XSET in the middle of the map, though, have an opportunity here in front of them. Little do they know that there was nobody actually trying to contest mid-market for the time. They were just trying to get that ultimate orb so heavily. And as 2 members defensively will try to push through A, they'll meet a trap wire and say that, never mind, we'll just go back to A.
Yeah, excellent play by Thwifer there, putting down the trap wire. If it wasn't for that, I think Envy flank for sure, and Envy want to make stuff happen. They don't actually have guns to play with. Let's see how XSET dismantle this defense on B now. Let's assume they will be able to successfully. Quite a few players are waiting here. 28, 3 HP on Mummy. He's one shot away, and one shot's all it needs to happen. There's one guy left here as well. Yeah, Finesse will do some damage. He takes a bit of tax down, but Finesse will go down as well. And a 1v4 situation. Plant has been confirmed. A bunch of free frenzies on the floor, and we're not expecting too much from crashies here.
But likely he will still try to give this a go, because why not? Dark cover will provide him an opportunity to start moving a little bit further forward, but getting spammed down to 74 HP. And XSET should be pretty aware that he's going to be sitting in this dark cover. Yeah, the recon bolt will 100% confirm it. Now they just go to start spamming. Another recon bolt coming out. But at this point, I mean, crashies hasn't even given enough time to even play for a kill. There's the opportunity, but bjor blocks to the head. And XSET, as expected, will take their second round. So a good start here for XSET overall. It just comes down to, can they continue that here going into what will likely be full weapons for Envy.
A bit of a turnaround from what we saw in Split. This is the kind of start that XSET are looking for. And guns for Envy. Still waiting on some frags. I mean, Mummy, crashies, and Food just kind of warming up for this map currently. Aaron, to be fair, hasn't picked up one either. No ultimates to be found just yet. One away for Weeded, actually. So he's on 5-0 with a plant. On the side of Envy, if they got anything now, that would have been great, but would require to have had a few more kills. Only 3 kills over the last 2 rounds. Wow. Was eating a bunch of damage early.
Yeah, it's actually a significant amount of damage. He is the only player that's over here by B, and this is what we're talking about, this continual hit that we're seeing from Food, just trying to challenge over through B main. crashies will also kind of double check as he takes the Aldrum through middle to make sure nobody else is lingering by these doors. Wifo will take a couple of sound challenges through the trap wire, but as we get in, it's actually going to be bjor and Aaron who find a couple of kills. crashies' last shots will actually find one elimination and a shock dart to go right over towards the spike site. XSET is on, BCJ will plant.
Spike planted.
And it will be a 4v3 for XSET.
Actually, a decent kill from crashies. That'll make the retake that much more possible. Unfortunately, though, for Kaboose and Mummy, I don't think they did any damage. They just eat a nade, eat a bunch of damage. The swing through from XSET, perfect. They have full flank control as well. This time around, Finesse is not going to try and flank. They've got 3 members alive, no time to wait. Still got 1 flash of food as well.
Blaze wall comes up. bjor underneath. It's going to have some help. Time becoming a problem without a question. Food, though, finds a couple of kills, maybe an opportunity, but again, you just have to stall the defuse. Wifo falls, and just out of the lead, and he's being zoned. He's able to find 1 kill, but he's being body blocked. Protect the president. Is there enough time for the defuse? Yes, there is. A literal last-second retake for Envy, but it's clean, it's polished, and it works for their first round overall.
Yeah, still gotta wipe a bit of sweat off the brow there. Oh my goodness, it came down to the wire. If anything killed Food, if anything stopped him, that would have been it. XSET, then they've done decent on that round. I gotta say, got a bunch of kills, got the plant down, got the money in there. 2 ultimates to play with now for the next round as well. Probably won't have to use the Blaze Storm here. And he's still looking over towards Envy. They got the guns. Food would love to get 1 orb to at least be able to pick up the runner back. That would be a pretty important ultimate. As looking for any opportunity for Envy to get something done this round. This is going to be a big one for XSET to come up to 3-1 if they can do that.
Again, opening vying for position through B main there results in a bit of exchange of damage. Again, Blazewall or Hot Hands will be able to get Food back to full HP or just near it. But again, XSET, for as much pressure as they're throwing through B main, they're really not all that interested in bringing the spike that direction. It's still being held by BCJ, and he's just watching mid-map.
Waiting to see if Envy are going to do anything, which they're not going to. They do have Kaboose hiding all the way into wine currently. It looks like it's going to be a mid play. I mean, technically, XSET could go up mid, can go into market, make a bit of noise, come through short again. Aldron looking over to B main. They know it's definitely not B main, so that parts of the map that they don't know right now is short and mid. They know it's not A main either because they have some control there.
Will XSET use this position mid-map to just execute through mid-market, or will they get cold feet again and back away? Actually, it looks like the spike will bail away. Food is still, again, challenging aggressively. If he gets picked here, there's no help whatsoever. Paranoia comes through, and Wifo finds the easy kill. So now here comes the rest of the approach through the market. crashies by himself, can't get behind cover. Another kill for Wifo, and the last player that was even able to try to even contest was Mummy, but he has to tailwind backwards, and that'll lead to a BCJ plant on the B site.
Perfect execution. Still time left for the plant there as well. Getting the kill into crashies through the wall. courtesy of BCJ and the recon dart. So XSET now 5 alive, Envy with only 3, and I don't even think these are the guys with the rifles. No, it was Food and Crashies that had the guns, and guess what? They're dead, so it's going to be only SMGs for the retake, and Envy, I mean, you're not going to save the SMG, so I assume they're going to have to go for this.
Spy camp still up as well for this post plant. We did timing. He will get across the dark cover, and Envy, are they playing for exit kills here? Sure feels that way. XSET are just going to full storm their way out. Not enough time for a defuse. Finesse. Can he be able to respond to a couple? There's the first spam through the wall. No chance for him to find anything else. And Kaboose will be the last one to survive, and he'll hold on to the weapon. Interesting. I was right there with you, Avril, when it came down to I thought for sure they would at least try to contest it in some space.
I think they ran out of time. I think they realized even if they go for it... I mean, that being said, though, just doing damage is good. They only got 1 kill at the end. That was coming through from Finesse. I think if they were all going to die, just, you know, die with a little bit more, I don't know, of a retake happening where you're trying to force some fights to happen to try and take those guns away, because even rebuys here, I mean, look at this. Aaron having a rebuy, he's on 600 now. And he doesn't even rebuy into a rifle, he rebuys into a Spectre, so any kill coming through from Envy with their SMGs would have been worth it. XSET do now have the 3-1 scoreline. They have a Blaze Storm as well, so actually what I thought should happen this round is Aaron and Pura should actually swap guns so that Pura can just use the ultimate.
Oh, it's the spike!
I mean, Food's gonna push right out, and that's gonna be a spike on the floor. Speaking of Pura, you're out of the map.
What a massive kill. Run it back, spent. The Owl drone scouted some information, and now the spike is on the ground. But Envy have backed away. I mean, it's a very vulnerable spot to put yourself just in that B courtyard, but they're really not able to make too much use of the kill. Can't really collect the weapon, can't guard the spike, but they do still have a 5v4, and Mummay is just going to continue to throw shoulders here and wait for someone to peek him, hopefully through B main, so we can get this Blade Storm online.
Kaboose, by the way, for the second round in a row, will be playing Wine. He wasn't spotted there last time, so no reason for XSET to assume anything. That means they can leave players behind and don't have to attend with A that much. It'll just be the 2 players. So everyone else is hanging out in B. If the spike comes through B main, oh, that could be quite bloody. 1v1 potentially over towards Market as well. Crashies.
He gets the kill!
Trouble, but it's...
30
Yep,
seconds
Mummay
left.
onto Aaron.
In the hot hands, we'll actually zone off any further push through, so the only player to walk away with a kill here for XSET is Thwipo. That's the backside of the defense. BCJ trying to work his way forward, has a tracking dart he needs to deal with. Dark covers will go out. Food has retreated back, and now you've got time as a problem. 12 seconds to go. Both members for XSET defensively are doing all right, but Mummay doesn't lock down the headshot. Had a really easy predictive angle, and Food also drops, and oh man, for a second you thought Envy were gonna do it. Now it just comes down to Kaboose for what needs to be a 1v3, and as he walks forward, he gets double chowed. Oh man, every opportunity was there, but XSET, they collect themselves. They find themselves their 4th round.
And it has to be Envy trying to survive over towards the setup into B main. If they can't get the kills necessary from B main, then XSET were going to get themselves the site. They do that. They get the plant. Envy are running out of members. It was a late plant as Army time was starting to run out, but 4-1 start now for XSET. Money's broken for Envy as well. They got no more ultimates to play through. Mummay no longer has the Blade Storm. And it was a great start. Remember, Food went through very aggressively in B main, got the initial kill into Pura, found the spike as well. The start was, you know, as great as you could hope for Envy. So it ends up being a bit of a sad finish for them, as Food's thinking about it again. We saw Food do this versus Luminosity. We saw a lot of Envy pushing aggressively through B main. They got to be ready for that, and they are. Look at that.
Okay. 4 players for Envy. Aggressive challenge. Pure can't fully capitalize on the kill. Does force out some more utility and confirms a lot of damage. So XSET will split just a touch here. At least initially you thought maybe that was going to be the case. Now they're going to get together and likely just confirm on the damage they've already found into Envy here. So looks to be the case. It's going to be down to Mummay. Can he find a way to respond to this hit? And well, it's still not fully coming through as of yet. Now finally they go. Aaron has made his way over to Logs, knows there's a player nearby, goes into the dark cover and finds the kill, and now XSET easy cleanup on the crashies. It's going to be a 5v2 post-plant situation.
It'll be a 5-1 in the scoreline here as well. There's really no chance for Envy here. They would have to pick up guns. They don't have a single kill. Like we've seen Envy do well in some of these situations. Finesse can definitely clutch up, but he needs a weapon to work with, and a long-range frenzy is not the answer. Weed with a very simple shot into the head for a flawless round here. XSET get to walk away with all their guns, couple of free pistol upgrades as well. Working towards their next round of ultimates. 3 out of 5 members have ultimates. Aaron's 3 away from getting the showstopper as well. And a bunch of money. Look, 4 members here for XSET are above 7k.
Yeah. I mean, it's just King Midas's gold at this point kind of being shared between all XSET members. So for Envy, it's just one of those things that there have been a handful of really close and tight rounds. But overall, outside of that round 3 heroic, and this has largely been all XSET all the way through. From the shadows will be confirmed, and it's going to be stuck. Weedon's going to get top high ground control here. Envy is now stuck down low on the site itself. 2 kills for Weedon.
Wow.
And we're going to get a response Hunter's Fury, but it's desperate. And it's unsuccessful. So XSET cleanly take once more in.
They're going to save.
Envy have to save, exactly.
They're out of here. I mean, Weedon, what kind of heroics are we seeing here?
Wow.
He TPs onto site, straight on top of rafters into heaven, using from the shadows. Gets a paranoia down, lands a couple of headshots, dodges the Hunter's Fury. He's doing it all that round. He's got everything in control. And yep, XSET are going to hunt because they got the money to do so. Should be contact made into spawn here. Long range shots confirmed that the headshot eventually will get the kill. And Puro makes sure that neither Mummies nor Crashies will be able to hold onto a gun. And yes, Mummy hadn't operated that round. Yes, Mummy did miss the operator shot to Puro right towards the end. They're in spawn. And that's going to come down to a broken economy for Envy again. This is really, really bad for Envy now. It's going to be 7-1. And we talked about the 7-1 scoreline on Split, but that was Envy on the 7 side of that 1. And now Envy's on the 1 side of that 1-7.
It's so true. And talk about the threat here, potentially. We talked about when we were watching Envy and Luminosity. Again, they went 5-5 on both halves, only getting 10 confirmed rounds. They might not even be able to get 5 defensively here. Which, not to say is their stronger half, but historically it has been. So, man, that's tough. If you're an Envy fan right now, you're kind of quivering just a touch.
Kinda
You need to
envious.
find a way to get things back. Yeah, I mean, well,
You wish you
maybe
were
not
XSET.
envious. Maybe, well, there he goes to say. Envious of days previous, not days current.
Envious of the other team's scoreline right now. Don't want to call it early. Certainly, there's only been 7 rounds. It will
For
be
sure.
8 rounds done. It will be a 7-1 scoreline. There's just no way. Envy can't win a round, surely, with like 3 frenzies and whatnot. They would have to get some sick shots, and Crashies would have to really nail some sheriff shots in there. They are getting closer. They could surround XSET. Not being caught by a ton of util here. Oh, there's the first start.
What an isolation that is for Envy. The dark cover, the paranoia, but it's not going to
One
make a
enemy
difference. The
remaining.
re-attack comes through. XSET finds the next 4 kills cleanly. And now it's just up to Crashies. He's found a Vandal to play with. And again, there's really not a reason that he
Spike
shouldn't
planted.
at least play for some exit kills, or not potentially just to go for it. Gets a headshot lineup. That'll do well to find Pure. So now there's actually realistically a pretty solid
The
option for him. And that'll slow things down just a touch.
Looks like he'll go for exits here. We've seen Crashies win like 1v3s before, but those were situations where he was already in the right position. He had some sort of intelligence advantage over the opponents as well, in terms of they don't know where he is. He probably knows where they are. This time it's the complete opposite. The camera spots him. He's running out of time. Unlikely for him to win the round. Basically going to go for his exits. He might contact 2 and spawn. Yeah, here it is.
He hears the footsteps, surely.
Oh!
What?
Oh, no. That's embarrassing.
So
That
unlucky.
is embarrassing. Oh, dear. Dude, he was about to maybe get a double
Oh
kill
my
and spawn to at least take away some guns, but he dies to the spike explosion. Like, how? What was that? That's
so
that's hilarious,
unfortunate.
dude.
No way. I mean, I was getting ready to call the 1v2, and next thing you know, he just falls over dead.
Wow. That's a moment right there. That's one
Sure
for the
is.
ages. 7-1 we find.
Kaboose will be milked out of both of his dark covers early as he got paranoid, trying to take an aggressive change. XSET will not really be interested in taking the angle, though, so in this full gun round, again, must-win round here for Envy without question. Not just to try to salvage the half, but maybe even the entire map at this point.
So, by the way, the 1 round Crashies decides to go over towards A. That's when Thwyfo starts B, puts the trapwire down. Every other round, Crashies has been putting a shock dart into where that trapwire location is to destroy it. Now it's going to come down to Mummay. There you go. That's one way to get rid of a trap. Why just kill the guy who put it down? So Mummay finding value on the operator. 5v4 MB finally off to a decent lead.
Yep. First blood that we can really talk about for Envy for some time. Crashies, I think, is recognizing that there's going to be a threat coming through tree. Gives away the glass angle, and then, oh, the showstopper for A-Raid as he comes back over to A-Main. Only able to find one. Crashies barely able to get alive, just with 2 HP. XSET is on the site, though. And Pure, he should have seen the contestant of FNS, but decides to stick for the Cloud Burst first. 3v4 situation. XSET does have the post plant. The defense is going to try to get the long flank from Food to try to make this play, but they're going to try to challenge through. Pure's able to find 1 kill. FNS, he's trying to lock things down by spamming through the walls, but it's going to be 2 for 2. Pure for 3 on the spike. It's being diffused. Halfway done. Mummay able to find the kill as soon as the Cloud Burn dissipates, and that'll be enough for the full kill.
That was great coming through from Mummay, but nearly not enough there. 10 shots remaining for Pura in a 1v1. The fact that XSET bring that from a 2 to 4, 2v4, down to just a 1v1 makes it super possible for Pura to win, but you have Mummay with the initiative. Smoke's coming down. Seen Mummay in that situation before. I think on Split even, that was a very similar one where it was a 1v1, but Pura just had... I mean, it was actually Mummay that had a lot of smokes down. I think we did try to challenge for the one. That was, who was it? BCJ trying to challenge for the 1v1 back then, but now to recent moments, into modern day, that will at least get MB back one more round. They have 4 out of 5 ultimates. Operator's still alive. Mummay did get the opening kill on the previous. Looking for info, looking for a potential in mid. Let's get pushed off the line early, though.
Also seeing Envy try to scout things out through A long with the Owl drone. Not going to read too much information. You've got an aggressive defensive setup here as far as the Cypher is concerned. Both trap wires playing very close to that B main door. And then Crashies going to take a long distance recon bolt to make sure that the mid is safe, and he will confirm yes it is. Run it back will be channeled, and View looking to get aggressive with this, coming right through the middle, and it gets shut down immediately. So ultimate finds essentially nothing.
Doesn't see a lot either, so in terms of information, it's not too much to work through, which is usually what you want to get out of the ultimate. I mean, now, good opportunity to find a pick here. He has to run away, so this Boombot actually finding massive value and pushing Mummay off the line again. Mummay just can't catch a break in terms of finding someone to walk into his operator's crosshairs. He'll now be looking to snipe down the lane. From the Shadows has been committed as well. Caboose sticks it through, so 3 defenders here in time.
Timing is going to be really interesting right now because XSET are going to try to rotate back maybe through the middle of the map, but there are 2 members for Envy that are actually here. Food being one of them. Timing is not going to be favorable here for XSET. Envy able to clean up 4 straight kills, and the 5th. Crashies getting 3 of them. So just as much during Split, we wanted to sit there and say that XSET down 7-1 needed to win the last 4 rounds in a row. Same storyline here for Envy, and they might fulfill it as well.
That's incredible. I mean, you see Food pushing up all the way into spawn. Crashies has control over, you know, catwalk as well, or at least the exit of catwalk. Mummay gets a kill on the exit as XSET try and leave B. And the From the Shadows being committed by Caboose just to make sure, look, if XSET were going to actually commit to B, there was going to be 3 defenders waiting there, including Mummay, who's holding the line onto lane. If they don't commit to that one, XSET are going to run out of time. They're going to be struggling to get over towards A, and they're going to get killed on the way. So Envy really in a win-win situation. Crashies now trying to get the opening kill, gets a couple of tags, and there it is onto Weeded.
Yeah, the paranoia being sent out initially, so that way Crashies was allowed to get the Hunter's Fury down with anyone really not really seeing where the Hunter Fury is going to come from. He confirms a kill plus damage. This Aldro is going to find so much information, but Caboose needs to be tested here. He's good for 1, not a second. Still contested nearby defensively though, but Aaron actually getting a little bit of a wall bang, but no one expects Crashies to also be there. The triple stack for Envy pays off. 3 for 4 exchange. Crashies, 7 straight kills for him.
Standing ahead.
Yep.
Unreal.
No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind that Crashies is probably the best player on this team right now. Every single time I see this guy on this team perform, I mean, it's incredible. He's winning these moments. You see him in the clutch as well. Go back to bind. Go back to split. It's insane. So Envy right now making this comeback happen. One more round, and we said, look, 5 to 7 would kind of be required. This is almost a complete mirror of what Split was, except the other way around. The complete reverse, where it was XSET that was up 7-1. Well, sorry, it was Envy that was up 7-1. Now it's XSET up 7-1 in the first 8 rounds, and in the last 4 rounds and a half, the comeback starts to happen.
Food finds first blood. And XSET looking to go quickly. will immediately be stuffed. You see that where that red X is? It's right in A archway, and even beyond that, Twyfo's been hit pretty hard. He's actually got to toss the spike cover just in case he falls. Crashies will confirm the information. There will be an ultimate orb that gets collected, but that's really all XSET walk away with. I mean, you lose one plus half a life of another. Not a great start here for XSET with 60 seconds to play.
Kaboose lining up a potential shot. Mummay nearly had one there as well. Spike is fairly far away. They need to start thinking about where the movements are going to come from. Twyfo has a bit of an entry that he can make over towards A main. Tree has been opened up also, so yeah, Kaboose got pushed away.
Aaron trying to contest in. Crashies, good for one, but eventually his streak does get shut down. Food and Kaboose, though, pick up where he left off, and Envy with the fire. They're able to find 4 rounds straight, so we've got ourselves a 5-7 after the half. Do not go anywhere. We need to complete this third map. We'll send things to our halftime. We've just been continually treated to really tight games as we get to the halftime. 6 6s and 5 7s all the way through all the maps we've had so far today. And this one, obviously, looking like it has the legs to potentially go the distance. XSET will now transition over to the defense, and it's going to be on Envy to see if they can put together, again, a little bit of a cleaner offense. We kind of discredited them maybe at times for being a little bit sloppy on their executes or their holds on a post-plant situation.
2 opening shock darts are going to connect for a decent amount of damage. Remember, Envy have struggled with pistols on this map. Let's see if they can change the tune of that. For now, they are getting a decent amount of kills, but losing a lot as well. BCJ picks up a couple. Now Envy is down to 2.
Crashies again. Good utility coming through, but the problem is XSET have completely flipped around, so now it's just down to Crashies. 37 HP remaining for this 1v3 situation. He would have to be clean here. Spycam will pick him out. We'll immediately take the challenge, and that'll be XSET once again winning pistols. It's one of the things that we noted when LG was playing up against Envy. Luminosity won almost every single pistol we could really recollect.
Yeah, it's more, I think it's just coming down to Envy struggling on pistols here, and a lot of Luminosity. Remember, that was a close score. It was at 13-10 again. So Envy definitely put up rounds. It's just the case that if you lose the pistol, you lose the anti-eco. That's like 4 rounds straight away that are gone. And when the score lines are close enough to be like 10-13, 4-round difference there is massive. So really for Envy, it's not feeling good. Envy are not going to force either here. It's going to respect the fact that XSET will have the better guns for now.
Jeez, the utility that's coming out of all of our, well, not just our Sovas, but we've also talked largely on what our Sentinels have been able to do, specifically Cyphers. Caboose, Mummay, find the first 2 kills. It's a hell of an exchange. Pierre's able to find 1 and a second. Needs to respond to more, though, but he lines them up! 3 and 4. Last player right in front of him, but does he recognize it? It's going to be just down to 1. It's Finesse who's playing below him. And it looks like Finesse will actually try to challenge this. He's going to run into the better part of all 3 players. Will not allow the ace to come over. He'll find the final kill.
And that's actually going to give Pierre a very nice quick charge towards the Blaze Storm as well. Should be at least 4 out of 6 now, if not 5. There it is. Would have been 5 out of 6. 17 kills overall. XSET were expected to get the anti-eco though. So for Finesse to even pick up a gun and make an attempt happen, decent. Envy now looking towards the 5 rifles. 3 plays buying down to 0. No alt timings for them just yet. 2 away from running back for food. So we need to at least prioritize 1 orb and then be able to get a kill somewhere. XSET have a buggy on BCJ, so where's BCJ gonna play with that?
The answer for now is it's gonna hold right on top of the tree. Aldrone will see at least 1 player contesting the mid doors. Caboose nearby will keep his position concealed for now. And it looks like Envy will just continue to kind of search for information and see what they can get on XSET before they try to commit.
Seeing if XSET want to get aggressive there as well. I can see some defensive plays. The smoke coming on through. That is actually the defensive smoke. So XSET put that smoke down themselves. But yeah, the camera set up, the trap wires there as well. I mean, it's quite defensive. Getting out from Finesse. Just waiting for XSET to make plays happen, and we're looking at BCJ also holding with the bucket into tree. Anyone walking in there likely to go down. Sees the smoke coming on through, is anticipating now the potential for someone to walk over onto A short, but it's actually going to be Caboose into market and realizes he has a lot of control here.
But the spike still needs to make its way over. It's taking the long rotation back through the offensive spawn. Thwifo, tough timing right there. Caboose able to find the
30
first
seconds
kill.
left.
Now it's going to be Envy trying to push forward. Again, the spike is still not a part of this hit as of yet. So defensively, XSET, if they can just hold their ground, they can still potentially contest. 1-for-1 we go. Aaron coming through the cyber cage, not going to find anything. And now the spike has made its way on, and it's just down to one. BCJ V4, and he's only got a Bucky. So right this round off, Envy should be on 6.
I'll give him that kill over the crashes as well. Bucky, probably not the best retake weapon. Again, just hoping someone walks into his line of sight. Doesn't happen that round. You can credit Caboose for making his way over towards market. Caboose thought about tree for a while, by the way. He was thinking about A short, thinks better of it, goes towards market. Seems pretty free. Opens up the door, gets a free kill to Thwifo, who is about to pop his cage. Gets traded out, but allows Envy to make their way into sight anyway, and at least try to catch up here. 6 and 9. They win the required gun round for number 3, but this is the one that they have to really try and win. If they can win this one against XSET, it'll put XSET back onto an eco, and that's when Envy can really make a comeback.
Oh, BCJ holds down the trigger. Rewarded with one. Running back is still going to be forced forward. BCJ is going to get a little bit of help from the corner. Going to be weeded. Shock Dart also coming into play, but they still lose the Omen player. BCJ's last Shock Dart comes out. He can reposition, but he's on an island. He's paranoid, and here come the rest of Envy. Reload will not get off in time. Had to feel like an absolute calendar year between starting that reload and finishing it. So it's a 3v3 situation. Retake coming quickly. Aaron actually does connect to the head of money, which makes us more plausible. Pure able to find the kill. Thwifo from behind, and Pure finds the final. XSET, get on the retake. They get on to 10 as well.
And despite how long it took to reload, I mean, the damage was good enough. The prevention of the fast take coming on through from Envy, just the slowdown there. I mean, you see the opening kill onto, who was it? I can't even remember now, but like the Odin spray from BCJ just opening up. It might have been onto Food or somebody, but Envy just could not get into sight quickly enough. XSET have enough time bought for the rest of the players to come on in for the retake, and 10-6 now, 3 away from heading into the top 4, punching the ticket through. For Envy as well, they're trailing by enough that it is a bit of a worry. They have 3 ultimates available, including the Blazestorm, which is going to be used this round. So everyone else is going to have a rifle, just enough money to go around, and then the Blazestorm to round out the 5th.
Early from the shadow is going to come through. Caboose is going to see some information up top, which is what crashies is trying to use to confirm a kill with the Hunter's Fury. Not going to be there, and Aaron responds to the 2 members of Envy try to push over to tree. Pure finds not just one, but a second. Envy playing so loose right now, and it gets completely punished. Essentially 2 separate 1v2s, and now crashies is literally caught in a corner.
XSET probably don't know where crashies is for now, so there's the opportunity that if crashies just wants to sit here for the rest of the map, he could get 1 kill. That would at least take 1 gun away in a situation where, to be fair, XSET don't... they're still trying to build their bank, is what I'm trying to say here, but crashies will think about the timing. He'll think about moving through. He's got 50 seconds to play with, and no real chance to win here, just looking for damage.
Deploying drone.
Well, he actually keeps his shoulder pretty revealed while getting into the Aldrone, so he's tagged down to 63 HP.
Scanning ahead.
And he just keeps getting pushed around, is the problem. Here comes a challenge
that's
from
good.
Pure. Okay, so there's 1 kill. I mean, there's not going to be an opportunity for him to get this spike flighted, really, or win the round, but any kill is good, like you mentioned.
Pure, by the way, who had the least amount of money on the team, actually gets 2. That's acceptable. Doesn't get a plant. I mean, you won't say it's been a successful, you know, eco. Well, they weren't even eco. They were actually buying into that round. So, yeah, it's just not a successful round there overall. But Pure was only on 600. He had the lowest amount of money. So, in terms of, you know, who was going to get damaged the most, Pure was 100% that guy. Crash is getting a couple of kills. Consolation prize. You know, you didn't get the massive teddy bear on the wall, but you get like a little fridge magnet at the carnival. That's what you get.
Okay.
I don't go to carnivals, is what I'm trying to say
I was
here.
about to say, what carnivals are you going to that they're giving out fridge magnets?
Cage trigger.
Well, they're more useful than giant teddy bears.
I suppose. You can be my giant teddy bear, Avril. How about that? And you're very useful, so. We're on one right now. Caboose trying to move forward. Pure is in a corner, but he's going to have a little bit of help. It's Thwifo who's right next door. And they're just continuing to throw shoulders, and, well, that's good for an exchange. Food, curveball. Will not find initially the second kill, but crashies follows up. So we go 2 for 2, 3v3 situation. Spike has made its way onto A, and defensively XSET gonna have to rotate in for likely a retake.
Yeah, the plant's already in. Crashes for another kill to Aaron, so that's actually the showstopper gone. So a big ultimate that XSET could have relied on for this particular round has been taken away. Finesse on the big flank. I said the big flank is just over and just short, but it's enough that if you're XSET right now, you can't safely cross in the tree and go through door. You might just have to play through from heaven. Odin is great for spamming down the floorboards. That being said, though, Envy aren't exactly playing super deep into hell. I mean, a couple players are going to be diving in a little bit deeper now. It looks like XSET are getting cold feet. I don't know that XSET are going to really try for this time. Is seriously starting to run out now.
Well, they're trying to still spam through this. Weeded's hoping someone's going to peek, but they're just not predicting correctly. And it looks like with the time fading away, they're just going to try to lock down a couple of exit kills and then likely just back out. Weeded might actually stick for this and try to really punish the economy of Envy, but he won't get anything extra. He does force both players still to fall. So again, kind of from the opposite side this time, even though XSET don't get the round, they still punish in a major way, because look at that economy for Envy. Definitely not healthy.
It's gone. I mean, even two players surviving there, both Food and Crashes get away with a gun. It's a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now you're in a situation where Food and Crashes rebuy. They're down to 0. They're not going to have full armor. If you're looking at Crashes, probably don't have full equipment value either in terms of, you know, utility here. I wouldn't be surprised if they're missing bits and pieces. Food especially, he probably doesn't have his full kit. Not that Phoenix needs the full kit, but the extra healing would be nice. Running back is going to be available. Thwypo's one away from confirming neural theft as well. This time, no early kill from BCJ through the wall via the Odin. That one flash for Food.
Yeah. What to say, it's going to be Envy needing to find some ground here mid-map. And there's no trap wire here, so they've freely walked forward. The rotation will be here. Aaron will see a lot. He does have a showstopper. Run it back comes out for Envy. Paranoia is going to be placed. That should be able to deal with the first instance of the Phoenix, no problem. And now the showstopper coming through. Blast pack for Aaron. Oh my goodness, no, not going to happen. He tries to dance away, and actually he dashes into Food's hot hands. So the kill comes through regardless. Pure only good for one to the middle of the map. Gives us a 4v3, still favoring the defense, and Crashies. Yeah, he's got the spike, but Envy's attempt to get onto B has been completely thwarted.
On the shadows, be looking over across the other side of the map as well. It's been committed, okay? They're going to split 2 into. This actually gives Envy an opportunity now. Crashies gets a free kill. Still a player nearby, though. Aaron is hiding over towards logs, unspotted on 35 HP, roughly about a shot away. Oh, could see a player. We'll find Finesse, but we'll should be cleaned up now. There it is. Food will take him down, and that's going to be a free sight. Caboose, or rather Weed, is going to be a little bit upset about the fact that he used his ultimate to go back to A and ends up being the wrong read here. Now a full-on 2v2. I don't think Food can heal, so that damage on... No, I lie. Food did heal, so he's on full as well.
Massive 2v2 right here, though, when it comes to the overall macro of the game. Envy, you win this one, your economy is saved, kind of. XSET, you win this one, you've got Envy in a corner, and you're on match point. So you're looking at this from Food in the corner. Crashies right next to him. Picture-in-picture will show Weeded, just waiting for information to come through. XSET playing this very slowly. Recon Bolt has been charged. Hunter's Fury still available, but you don't see a world where he brings it out here. They know where one player is. Food finds the kill on the opposite cross. Last player to jump on in was Thwypo, and Food finds 4. A big 2v2 that Envy take cleanly. And now we've got 8-11, and Envy are starting to slowly dig themselves out of this financial hole.
I mean, look at the scoreline here as well. Compare this performance from Food versus what he was doing on Sage. This is what I'm talking about. And the last 2 maps where Food has had to play Sage, it's been looking dire. He goes on the Phoenix, totally different story. 4 kills in the previous round. I mean, the only, like, nitpick I'll do there, the only small detail there is, like, if he was planning to use the runner back, he probably shouldn't have bought armor because he ends up just wasting the armor anyway. But just on, like, what, 1 flash?
Yeah.
No Blaze Wall, a Hot Hands. Did Mummy die to that hot hands, or was that a different round?
He died to the hot hands, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there you go. You have a situation where, you know, your hot hands gets a team kill, and still Food will clean things up with 4 kills, 1 flash, and the runner back just even being played as well.
So still not comfortable is Envy with what they have weaponry-wise, but at least they're still able to kind of fight back. Hunter's Fury still available, as well as the Neural Theft, just to keep that in the back pocket. XSET on the other side, you don't see a world where the Bladestorm will come out to play, but Neural Theft very well could put them on 12, pending they find some opportunity to run it. And how about this? Envy stacked mid-map on Catwalk. Looking like they want to make a call to get into the tree, but no action as of yet.
Paint shell should be exchanged for Cage here. Could be a lot of damage as well. Yeah, forces everyone back, and tenz are slowing down the push. I mean, that's done that. The cage has been completely wasted. The second one has to come down, and oh my goodness, the shot.
Beautiful shot from Food. They get that kill and then immediately rotate. BCJ just by himself with an Odin. The members rotating over will be dark covered so they can't actually see the cross. BCJ, he's going to have to try to hold on for as long as possible. Keaton does well to find one kill. They're just spamming his staircase, knowing that they're going to funnel Envy over towards the outside alley. There goes the exchange. BCJ holding on the trigger, but Food! Another beautiful headshot. Crashies immediately gets the spike planted afterwards, and now it's just down to the retake. 3v4 situation in favor of Envy's post plant. No information gathering tools at the moment for the side of XSET, and Envy walk away with 2 kills, just down to Weeded. 1v3 tagged up a bit through the boathouse. How do you break through this? The answer is you don't. Envy coming back into this one, just down 2.
$200 in the bank there as well. Oh, that is a rough one. The side of XSET, they just got no money now. This is going to be a half buy. Yeah, you can see the stingers coming through. Bucky for BCJ again. Food hitting some disgusting shots. By the way, 2 rounds ago, he just used the runner back. Last round, he earned the runner back again. He didn't have to use it last round, but he got it back within another round. He's absolutely farming ultimates right now. Farming XSET. 17-13 again. He was missing. He was completely MIA on the last 2 maps on Sage, and now suddenly on Phoenix, the guy's here to play.
You talked largely about it through our first 2 maps, Avril. Food sometimes on these more passive roles just feels like he's a non-factor in the kill department specifically. Sure, his utility is appreciated by his squad, but it's kind of a battle of 6 of one or half a dozen of another, because whenever he's playing on a Phoenix, he seems to just completely pop. So Envy in this game without question, a round that they should be able to take here, but they want to make sure they do it cleanly. Even though they are in a full purchase mode, their economy is still starting to get its legs underneath them. It's out of the red and into the black right now, it kind of feels like, just barely for Envy.
Just as a reminder, when Envy on Split had that 7-1 start, they still won it on the second half. They still actually confirmed that map, and at the moment, XSET, despite being 2 rounds away, it's just feeling like another round that's just going to go the way. Envy should be 10-11 pretty soon. Thwifo looking for something with the Bucky, gets tagged up by the tracking dart, has to fall off the angle, and now, I mean, this is going to be too hard to use the Bucky. And speaking of, you know, using the Bucky, good luck with that, because now Envy have made their way over towards A.
Pier has to have something huge here. He sneak underneath the trap bar, tries to, and is able to find FNS. Nice isolated kill there. Saw Food for a second. Meanwhile, off-screen, Crashies finds one, and then the curveball play perfect for Food. Shuts down the threat of Pure. So now it's a 2v4 situation for XSET. And at this point, do you just play for exits and try to salvage weapons if at all possible? There is one that's outside the catwalk. Abram's going to give this a go. Gets caught.
Why the paint shells?
I don't know. Doesn't even throw a shoulder first. So now BCJ has a Vandal to free Vandal, so he'll try to play with it. He finds 1 kill. Looking to see if he can trap his last couple of players underneath. Gonna stick for maybe half a defuse here. And as he does, Mummy will come through, find the kill, and Envy should be able to get out on time before this spike detonates, and yeah, that will be the case. So 10-11 the tally. But a big round coming up here as XSET will be able to purchase.
An important round. If XSET don't win this one, they're back into another, you know, force. It'll be Envy going to 11. We're looking at, you know, XSET would have to force an OT at that stage. Not necessarily. XSET could still win, you know, 2 more rounds, just confirm it. Envy would be stuck on 11. It'd be 11-13. But look at the comeback here. It's another rough start for Envy. It was a 1-7 start, now a 1-4 start. And since then, it's been 4 rounds in a row. Food has just come alive completely in the last few rounds. The runner back obviously still waiting in the line. Foods could be used this particular round. There it is. Doesn't get a lot of info off it, though.
Hunter's Fury will tag 1 player. BCJ's good for 1, not going to get the second. Mummy and FNS able to get into the mix to find 2. So it's a 4v3 situation. Spike making its way on. Mummy making sure that nobody rotates outside through tree. Spike planted. Mummy still holding the corner. XSET's defense is going to wait, it looks like, for Thwifo to get here.
Aldron's coming through as well, spotting a couple. Food actually fails to get the kill to Aaron, who was blinded. That is a major mess up coming through from the Envy side of things. Could have been a free kill. Thwifo, we were waiting for the rotation. It comes in, and it pays dividends. Still a 2v2 situation. Envy still around. 1v2 now. It's going to have to come down to Mummay. He's won these before. Doesn't have any cloud burst. Has to blaze him. Is going to just right click. Okay, sends it straight through. Spamming onto the spike. Can't confirm the damage. And it will be weeded. It will be XSET heading over to match point.
Oh my goodness. How tight has this game been? 12-10 to tally right here. Envy will be able to full purchase. XSET is actually gonna have to make some decisions because even with the successful retake, look at their economy. You've got Pure completely zeroed out, and granted, he doesn't necessarily need his utility, but Aaron, just to afford his kit, has to go into a Spectre with full armor. This is still very doable for Envy to get on to 11. Now, granted that they are also not fully healthy, especially Caboose really is the only one, as he's not able to get the full armor, but no ultimates here. This is gonna come down to utility and gunplay, simply put. Just vanilla Valorant coming at you right here with no extra added bonuses of the ultimates coming into play.
That being said, though, 3 players on XSET are only 1 tick away from confirming their ults, so 6 out of 7 for Weeded, BCJ, and Aaron. Showstopper could be pretty decent. Aldron going over into tree. No early information yet coming through from the defense. And the camera might eventually see somebody mark it as completely free and open. It's going to go B for sure. And it's going to come down to Thwifo and Weeded.
Well, we did. He's got a paranoia ready. He's going to use this one out. He's going to be able to confirm some information, but Thwifo can't find the eliminations. Now, all of a sudden, here comes the rest of Envy as they push forward. Good curveball. Boots finds one. Thwifo able to exchange his life. Not bad. But you would have loved to have gone kill for kill throughout all of that. So Mummy will get the plant off. Aaron, though, is close by to try to contest this with BCJ.
Crashies lurking.
The one thing, yeah, I was going to say, the one thing they're missing is crashes on the long flank. Showstopper comes out, Aaron finds another, but BCJ, as he deals with the flank, is tagged up heavily. It's just down to Mummy. 1v2 gets caught, Pure! Finds the kill, Hunter's Fury was there just in case. And that will be XSET taking this series. They eliminate Envy in 2-1 fashion here, 13-10.
Defenders win.
And another 13-10 result that is going to be upsetting for Envy, I'm sure. They lost 13-10 versus Luminosity in the upper bracket. Couldn't win a single pistol on Ascent, and the same thing happens again.